Coffee and Cream with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Padres a gallon short. The 0-1. Fly ball to deep left field. That one is on its way, and it is gone. A home run. Austin Barnes' first home run of the year. And the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
Man with a ground out his first time up. He swings, drills one, deep left center field. He knows he got all of it because he did, baby. Deep shot, left center. Bam's 12th of the season, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks here in the fourth.
Payoff pitch. Alonso clocks one deep center field. Edmund back looks up. It is gone onto the grassy Berman straightaway center. It falls onto the natural batter's eye. A 2-run home run for Pete Alonso.
One out top of the 8th inning. Here's Julio Rodriguez, the stretch and the pitch. Swing and a fly ball deep to left field. Way back, going and goodbye baseball. Julio Rodriguez with a 3-run blast. And he gives the Mariners a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 8th inning.
Man, what's that? 11 straight for your boys?
The
Dodgers have won 11.
They're rolling.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna be honest. People are gonna roll. People are gonna roll their eyes like, "Oh, it's the Dodgers." I'm like, listen, you know what? That pitching staff was decimated.
The pitching staff is not good.
And
now all of a sudden it's like
they're starting to come together. And if they get
this is World Series. What was it? 2017, 2018?
Yeah, if they get Walker, COVID year, if they get Walker Ferris Bueller back, and he's worth a darn.
I hope he's worth his weight in gold because
you know what's funny? Like
of hype.
Listen, he's the real
just can't
deal.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, he's and you know what? It's funny you say that because I don't know, like, I'm not like studying the biomechanics of each and this, that, and the other, but I do like, you know me, I like body movements and how the body works and efficiency and stuff. And he was such an easy, hard thrower. And he reminded me of Mark Pryor, an easy, hard thrower. And now it's like, you know, people say, oh, it was easy to see how when Pryor was throwing, you could see how that would lead to arm trial. And I was like, I don't know how, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys know way more than me, but hindsight's 2020, revisionist history is pretty perfect. Walker Bueller is an easy, hard thrower. I just wonder, like, is there something to that with his mechanics? But I don't know, man. I'm excited. The Braves are a monster, right? Like I picked the Braves to win the World Series. I
did
picked
as well.
The Braves to, Ronald Acuna to be the MVP. He has not disappointed. So I can embrace the fact that I love the Dodgers and I watch them all, right? But if you don't watch them, you just assume. I mean,
that they're just the typical Dodgers team.
But it's not, right? Like, I mean, Mookie Betts went stretches with playing in the infield, and you had to call up young guys, and you got young
Will
arms.
Smith, like your three-hole hitter?
See,
or
that's the thing, man. Like, you look at their
cleanup hitter?
Yeah. Look at their numbers.
Will Smith guys.
No, like,
and
seriously,
Will Smith
and I don't mean iRobot or slap Chris Tucker, like
getting jiggy
Chris
with it.
Rock.
And Chris Taylor's batting like fifth.
You know, they go back and they have to get Kiki Hernandez and who I love.
And he's Dr. Consistent.
The Red Sox were like, we wasn't like that with us. But, like.
Tell you what, I like doing same game parlays with the Dodgers.
You're crazy. I like how they've had the grind.
Yeah.
It has, and again, like the low hanging fruit is, it's the Dodgers. They haven't had to. But listen, they're not any less injury prone with guys in their starting staff than, like, let's say the Yankees. But, just the vibe and the clubhouse and how those guys responded. Like, this is a very rewarding year.
You guys just called up a kid so I went to grade school with a girl that's dating one of your relief pitchers. He just came over from the Brewers. Gus Varland.
Malzahn.
Gus Varland. No, not that guy.
Are you sure?
Different guy.
Are you sure?
Guy. Yeah, Varland.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Varland is his last name.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
But
I'm absolutely gonna.
I'm looking at the depth chart up and down right now. This is you guys are rocking Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, okay? That's what people think when they think Dodgers baseball.
I know.
And they're like, oh, everybody else is just like those two.
Do you know where Gus Varlin is from, by the way?
I don't. I'm assuming from well, so she went to school. Where'd you go to school? Like Xavier? So
Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, regional. Think of our very own. I think I'm right. You may have to Google. You're testing me. Think of our very own Marissa Voss.
Oh, Minneapolis.
He's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe. That's
so. It is Minnesota. You saw an M.
It's Minnetonka.
Mm-mm. It's actually, I don't even know how big this town is.
Where is it?
It is. Don't look at my screen if you can kind of see it.
Okay, I'm looking away.
It is close to St. Paul,
but it's not.
So I guess it's a suburb of St. Paul.
Yeah. Where is it? Medina?
Maplewood.
Oh, okay.
Right next to St. Paul. Wait a second, isn't that right next to Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think he's a Minneapolis guy. It's bougie. I mean, the whole Medina, Eden Prairie. That's funny. Maybe she can have him. She's probably. Are they still like? Do they still hold hands or?
Oh, they take pictures on the field.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Holler at your boy. Let's get me a jersey.
I will. Let's go.
How about
I haven't talked to her in about 15 years, but you know what?
Hey,
Facebook message.
Are you a booker? Are you a Facebooker?
Uh-huh. Oh, dude, I'm so weird. So you know how you go through TikTok?
This I know.
You know how you go through TikTok?
Yeah.
And just kind of scroll?
Yeah.
Like when I'm on the John, it's Facebook Watch. It's super weird.
The John?
Super weird. Yeah.
You know a word that people like me don't use?
John.
The John. I don't know if I have ever used that word, the John.
Yep.
Which reminds me, last night, this is way TMI, but I fought it. Like, because I didn't want to have to get up. It was arguably the worst night of sleep ever. I had this pain like right below my sternum. And this is a dumb way to be competitive, but I was not going to get up to even contemplate trying to use the restroom because it wasn't a restroom kind of thing. It just was an abdominal pain. And I was like, get up, baby. Yeah, get up, baby. I wasn't going to get up. And it happened twice. I looked at the clock 3 times.
That happened to me over the weekend, Saturday.
109, 219, 349.
So when you say abdominal pain, was it like cramps?
So, like where your rib cage would like kind of apex above your tummy?
Mm-hmm.
So it was at like the top of my stomach.
Mine were on my side. So I had gastritis.
So about 2 inches below, about 3 inches below the R in Nebraska on your hoodie. Which, by the way, that thing is sweet. Yep. Hey, you like that? You like that, huh?
It is sweet.
Guess who said that?
I feel like Terrence Knighton right now. Although I need to cut the sleeves.
Hey, that dude is nuts.
You
Shane.
like that? You like that? Yes, I know who said that.
You know who said that?
Yes, I believe it was the guy that is related to you, but he's not a brother or a sister.
Is he one of my cousins?
Oh, he's a cousin, yeah.
That was back when he was a Washingtonian, though.
Yeah. Oh, when he comes out right down the tunnel.
You know what's funny?
You like that?
I worked with two other guys that defecated on Kirk Cousins. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I like yesterday was like deja vu. I'm like, what is going on? And you know I'm going to be honest. You know what's funny? All 3 of you are fantasy geeks.
And you know what's funny too? So my buddy who listens back in St. Louis, we were playing Fortnite last night, and he goes, "Dude, I heard your Kirk Cousins take." And he goes, "I wouldn't say he sucks." And I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And so he keeps going on, but he's like, he's not good. He lost at home to the Giants.
That's
the playoffs last year.
That's a lie.
Once he wins in the playoffs, then come talk to me.
Has anybody got inside Aaron Rodgers' numbers in the postseason for how we think of him?
Yeah,
there are some weird narratives going on about how we feel about quarterbacks, right? But can I ask you about something you brought up 2 months ago? No, you'll remember. And I kind of pushed back, and now I'm wondering how this is going to play out. Who's the one quarterback in the NFL that was once spectacular had a very subpar season a year ago, and you're writing their team off this year because of his performance last year, but their roster is way good.
Now I'm going to go through the quarterbacks. This is kind of like what you did yesterday when you went through the baseball pitchers.
Oh, look. Unbelievable.
Coincidence?
I
think not.
Unbelievable. It just
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Remember when you were kind of pooping on Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I was.
And I was like, so he's just not going to be good? He hadn't played for 2 years. And you're like, nah, I'm just not buying it.
And you know
I'm just not buying it. He's kind of concerning me now.
Oh, okay. Let me hear your.
He doesn't get enough.
Because for me,
he doesn't get enough work.
Okay, there's one. And did you see like how well their backups are doing right now?
No, listen. So apparently DTR is like the greatest player ever, right? So how I used to hold Chip Kelly, Buffalo Chip, in such high regard for what he was able to do with the 18-year senior. You got him to stop turning the ball over in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. Apparently DTR is pretty good. Because
not too shabby.
He looks like $1 million.
Yeah, he's also playing though.
No,
with the scrubs of the league.
Well aware.
So
well aware.
But no, that's pretty funny. Now, another reason I said I don't like Deshaun Watson, and it goes back to what I said about Kirk Cousins yesterday.
You hate massages?
Yeah,
bad.
I actually go to the mall over here and get massages sometimes.
Dude, there's a real swank joint by Blue Moon Fitness.
Is there? Yeah, in that little strip.
Yeah, man.
Every time I see that Brentwood sign, I think, it's Brentwood Plaza. I think it's a bowling alley.
Listen, so and there's one a couple blocks down at Mockingbird.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
lot of shady stuff happens over there. Southwest folks.
So there's a lot of trees over there.
Yeah, a lot of trees, lot of shade
a lot of cover
over there. Little Pocket Hercules. So therapy, the bar and grill over there.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, they don't pay us, but it's okay. Their kitchen.
You like their burgers?
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they got fantastic burgers.
Yeah. Because you said you went there one time and just
on
sat
a
at the end of the bar and had a burger and watched whatever was on TV.
It was legit. I was scared to death because it was like biker night. And I know that they're black bikers, but there weren't any there on that.
Did you have to go in with a leather jacket?
Man, listen, they're starting to set up tents and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe it's a carnival. No, it wasn't a carnival. Folks started pulling up with some ape hangers and banana seed bikes. And
DB's wearing a patch. It's the mild one.
I was like,
it's not wild. It's mild.
When's that burger gonna be done again? But I kid because I care. No, actually, I'm not kidding. I was gonna wet my pants. But they have really good food. So sometimes I'll go. I wanted to go there on a humbug. This was probably 2 weeks ago. So I stopped in. That's not me. I stopped in right after practice. It was like 6:40, and I didn't want to eat late like I did last night. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Coach Limongi. Man, this dude. I'm not going to say anything bad because we have to talk to him.
Yeah, we get to talk to him in about 20 minutes.
But man, never mind. I didn't get home till like 8:30, right? So I'm eating late again. I had a couple old pork chops. Redid them in the air fryer. I put them on the grill so I could at least get the grill portion of the air fryer so I could at least pretend to get some fake sear marks. But when I stopped over there, there's the little massage place next to therapy. And I'm like, this does not, I mean, no offense. I'm not going to say your establishment by name, but that does not look like a fine, upstanding massage joint.
That looks like something Robert Kraft would walk out of. Is that what you're saying?
No comment. I plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PF.
Oh, add TH to it.
PF. But yeah, so I'm like, I'm not a massage guy. I thought that maybe
you're pleading all 5 of them.
Hey, listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that Luke? Is it Vega or Vega? It's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Vega. Is it Vega?
A little bit of Erica in my life.
Talk about a one-hit wonder.
Oh gosh! And then Disney made some remake on it with the characters in the cast.
Is it Lou? Is it Vega? Vega. I gotta know.
I gotta know by now.
It's Lou Vega.
I think it's you gotta know by now.
Oh, look at this dude. How about his? Oh, it's Bega. Look at that little wispy cookie duster.
I love the fedora.
I'd like to wear one of those, but
Okay.
I'm not adult enough.
Deshaun Watson's fantasy stats last year.
Here we go. Mariah Carey over here,
Yeah.
fantasy.
All I want for Christmas is not you.
Nick Cannon.
No, all Nick Cannon wants is another kid.
All he needs is a condom.
All he needs is to wrap it up.
Live radio. Shane, my bad. I feel like the judge in court.
Order.
Jury, disregard what you just heard.
Strike that from the record.
Okay. No idea what's happening.
I object. 1,100.
Did you say
it's 7
object?
pick. I object.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
What?
1,100.
I was thinking Top Gun
Yes.
Goose.
I know.
Oh, that's a little morbid.
7 touchdowns, 5 picks. Yeah, I saw those 5 picks.
Okay. So he wasn't great.
Yeah, but he also only played, what, like 6 games last year?
Yeah.
Is that really all he played? Like 6
Coming
games,
off the
right?
suspension. Yeah.
How many games did he get suspended? Wasn't it
He-
like 10?
12.
12? Yeah. There you go.
And then they had the bye week, so then it
Yeah.
was like,
All right. I'll give him
and they
some
didn't
grace.
want him to play
I'll give
against
him some
Tom
grace.
Brady.
You know what? This is my strategy.
Yeah.
Because all my cousins listen to the show.
Kirk?
Nice. Nice. That was good.
All your Kirks
That
listen
was
to
good.
the
All
show.
my Kirks. I'm going to use that too. All my Kirks listen to the show.
Yeah.
And this is my strategy, right? Tell him not to draft Deshaun so I can get him with my last pick.
So I was trying to look at Caleb's
His fantasy league football team, and he
I
asked me
knew I
a quick,
liked CB.
he asked me a quick question. He's like Dobbins or Swift, and I was like, Dobbins, probably more of the sure bets. Swift may have the higher ceiling, but Dobbins is probably going to get more touches. He's like, dang. He only waited like 60 seconds. Like, I don't know if he was on the clock or what, but I was like, bro, I just told you, like, take Dobbins.
Sometimes it's a 60-second clock. Most times it's 2 minutes.
So, and it was over text, right? So next time, come
Mhm.
talk to your boy. Like,
Mhm.
you won't have that issue.
Right. I think both of them kind of
it's
go hand in hand. You can't really choose wrong.
And so the very next day I practiced all his little buddies because like it's like the Gucci crew, right? This whole senior class is super tight knit. Like, oh, so it's like, Coach B, are you like some fantasy football expert? And I was like, oh, actually, I hate fantasy football, but I have fantasy football segments every week on the show I used to do for like 10 years. So I feel like I have a pretty good grasp, and I work with a guy that like sleeps and eats fantasy. So it's like, it just kind of comes hand in hand. Like I look at that stuff and
right.
used to have a fantasy team, but I don't like fantasy. And like, oh man, where were you?
He's
And
a
I was
football
like,
expert.
right where I needed to be, minding my own business, not worried about fantasy. You know what I mean? I don't even like Murray.
I was trying to re-sear a pork
I
chop.
don't. Hey, on the sneak, I was though. It was like in this Asian zing sauce, and so
Is
I
that the
did.
massage place name or
Nobody could touch me. Like, never mind. Yeah, kind of like that. But I didn't have any like. Wyatt hasn't given me any recommendations for seasonings at the house, so I didn't have any seasoning that I felt like would go with the Asian flair. All right,
I'm with you.
Not,
I'm with
was
you.
not really a Pacific Rim cabinet, so I didn't want to mess with it. So I just used the marinade. It was just okay, right? Super juicy. It was fine, but
Was it sticky?
nope. Like the
See,
icky?
that's good. Well, like, when you get like some like soy sauce mixed in there, it can be like a little sticky.
That's not your jam either, is it?
No.
Yeah, because I remember when we tried the sensational stuff here, you were like, "Man, it's kind of
Like
good
tastes
for
like a lot like soy sauce.
like
a
soy
ton of
not
soy.
being my thing."
Mhm.
I think
It was good.
dude. That was fire.
Yeah.
I told you I took that container, right?
Yeah.
I'm like the homeless, right? Like, we'll, what? No, I meant like we'll work for sauce or we'll work for food.
I thought you meant like you just take the rations.
I'll always trade for budgeted items. You know what I mean? So I kind of like schlepped over to Chris CG, and he was with the GM here, and I was like, what are you guys going to do with that extra sauce?
Like, can I grab a container?
And he broke my heart, man. He was like, oh, it's not even, we haven't even really put it to recipe yet. You guys were just we were the test subjects, the Papua New Guinea pigs, right? So I was like, is there anything left? And they're like, just what's in the plastic container. And I was like, I didn't even have to ask. CG was like, oh, you can take it, man. Oh, I took that thing. It's fantastic. I can't.
Is that what you put on the pork chop?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it. I thought you did your own thing.
Come on, man.
Oh, you're a creator.
Yeah, but your boy's pressed for time
That is
because of
true.
the guy that we're talking
Yep,
to
yeah,
at 7:43
Mhm.
won't give us any free time. And he doesn't want to hear it either. I left my Yeti there last night, so I called it it's like 8:40, right? I said, hey, Coach Limongi, I said, any chance? He said, I'm in the parking lot. I'm like, dang. He's like, Coach Sikora's in there. So I called Coach Sikora. That's really, Coach Sikora's like my adult babysitter. And
he's the nice parent.
So you know what's funny about him? I didn't think I was going to like him. And I absolutely love him. Because he's the type of dude.
Which is rare for you because you're normally like, I will like you.
Yeah, so my radar is usually pretty good, right? And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But so there was always this mutual admiration as an OC because he's very creative. He does a lot of different things. So I'm like, God, this guy is a mother to prepare against. So, we kind of there was like this professionalism. But then when my first year being around him, I was like, this guy is not very nice. He's kind of mean-spirited. But then, over time, he's an equal opportunity offender. And it's not personal. It's just how he talks. I told him 2 days ago.
Qualities.
Yeah, and he's totally the guy that I do a lot of things with, right? Like I rode out to the campsite with him. He's kind of the guy that I lean on. We were the only two guys on the other side of the sidelines last night. He's a cool dude. We talk about he's really good with strength and conditioning, and we talk about diets all the time. He's a great dude. So, I called him and he's like, no problem. No, I got you. I'll put it in the fridge for you, and it was empty, but.
He put an empty Yeti in the fridge.
Well, I just didn't want. You ever been around coaches' offices? Weird things happen there, and I'm kind of paranoid. Occasionally, you see boxers hanging on the edge or underwear on the floor, or
I'm thinking back
leftover
to the locker
shampoo
room
bottles
days
in
of
the
high
shower.
school.
But these are coaches. These
Right.
are grown-ups. But
Right.
there's the hygiene, the cleanliness is still kind of. Why don't you just put that in your locker and close it? Right? It's a little sketch in there, so I didn't want my Yeti. I wanted it in the fridge, right? I don't know if I think human germs. I don't know if I just think floating germs are just going to cling to my Yeti. But it was
because they're attracted to metal.
Bro, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Enough to make the call to see if anybody's
attracted to your metal Yeti.
I'll tell you a funny story, but it'll be pissed. So I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to tell it. Never mind. I'm not going to tell it. So anyway, Coach Sikora is the type of dude. So yes, he walked in the weight room or the coach's office the other day. I said, man, you might be the most funny, unintentionally funny person I know. Because sometimes I just watch him and I laugh. I'm like, ooh, glad it's not just me. It's just his delivery. So one of our quarterbacks came over, and he's going to be a stud. It's Steve Warren's kid. And Braylon is really good. He's only 14 years old. And Coach Sikora is big on, get on huddle. Let's watch the film. We're a big signal team, right? It's a big boy offense. And so just imagine freshman playing. He goes, hey. He goes, what was that? I'm deadpan, straight face. And he goes, I don't know. It depends on what play I signaled in. What were my signals?
That's my guy.
And I was like,
that's my guy.
I was like,
I forgot what happened 2 seconds ago.
I was like, damn, it's not just me. He's like that with everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, low key, I was in tears. I was laughing my head off. I was like, he used to give me those answers, and I would be offended because I couldn't get the offense. It only took me 8 weeks to figure out.
That's great. Oh, that sounds just like me.
Dude, he's snark.
He's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Brian, stay there. We'll get to you after the break. More CNC next.
We'll be right back in 5 minutes. We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Welcome back, Coffee and Cream on ESPN Radio, Hurrdat Sports Radio. We're live on Twitter, live on YouTube, the Hurrdat Sports YouTube page, and we are live from the H&H Chevrolet stage.
Hey, did we get your
at the club?
Did we get your mom?
We did. I sent her the link. She gave me the check mark or like the like button on the iPhone.
Yeah,
because when I like your message, it comes up as liked.
Yeah, It
blah,
puts
blah,
liked
blah
in
message.
It
Yeah.
puts liked in quotes.
Yeah, this one actually has a nice thumb up. So
I'm
she is in. Welcome, Mama.
I'm just glad I figured out the emoji thing because it was showing up as question marks. So I had to change it from like something to alphanumeric output or input or.
Did you Google it?
I did.
Yes.
GIB.
You're a quick learner, man.
Man, listen. Why don't you just Google it? How about that day we were in Hurrdat headquarters and I couldn't figure out something and you typed it. I
typed it in.
The exact question that I asked you. Why can't the Android light up something screen dark? I was like,
and there were 3 steps
that
popped up.
I was like, oh, good job, buddy.
Yeah, that's what
it
I
just
do.
seemed a little remedial, but sometimes I guess it's that easy.
Yeah, you know what? I am just somebody else knows the answer, right? I'll find it. I'll find it for you, especially in today's age. Brian, let's go to Brian on line 1 before we push off any further here.
Hello,
Shane.
Brian.
What's up, B?
Oh man, not much. How you fellas doing?
B, what's up?
B, it's Friday. It's high school football Friday. We're feeling it.
Man, I just survived the most dangerous thing in this world.
What's that?
School drop off in the parking lot.
You ain't never lied. Anybody that's been through it knows you're not exaggerating. It is run for your life. It is unbelievable how people try to cheat
like
the
a Chinese
system
fire drill
to save
kick out of the
38
car.
seconds in the school parking lot. It is unbelievable.
I'm not gonna say what school is, but it's around your old stomping area.
Me?
Over here off 132nd.
B, what does it rhyme with?
Well, I know it goes there at the end of a restaurant that started with the word country. All you can eat.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Hey, so do you? Is the drop off down below or up top?
Up top, man.
Man. Best wishes.
I don't think parents realize the kids go there as fast as they are driving through the parking lot.
Hey, listen. Do you think people read the no parking fire zone paint on the curb? No, they just pitched. Listen, they pitched tent like they're out like they're out at Mahoney. It is wild.
Nowhere in the city do they do that. Nowhere. I saw a guy post something about cars getting towed down at the Crawford parade for people parking in tollway zones. Same guy I see at Walmart parking in the pickup spot for online orders. And I'm like, well, no wonder you don't like it because you just don't like rule and authority. You can't follow a simple one of parking. But you're online complaining about it, man. Shut up.
Hey, dude, how about how downtown has kind of gone to that city park where you got to use the app?
Oh man, hey, I use that.
Me
That's
too.
cool.
Me too. I told my barber a couple months ago. I was like, man, I'm down north enough. I was like, hey man, what's the app? So he walked me through how to. I need help, right? It's the phone. So he like downloaded the app for me. I put my little driver's license plate in there. I wasn't comfortable attaching like my debit card, but why would they run like a debit card for like 50 cents?
I don't know.
But listen.
Those 2 quarters add up when everybody else is putting 2 quarters.
You know what I am when it comes time to getting your cards, though? Knock yourself out. Take all the little 50 cents as you want, man. I got the app. I'm good.
Hey, Andrew should be able to use it really easy. What is he, 13 out here playing Fortnite?
No. Well, I have to drive there with my mom. So I got to park into a spot and then she pays.
You said it. You said you and your friend, you said it proud with your chest out. We were playing Fortnite. I was like, oh my God.
B, I'm out here crushing kids' dreams.
Hey, I know you are, because my 14, 13, my 9-year-old daughter plays there.
Hey, listen. Yeah. Hey, so does Micah. I just called him over the break just to see, what the after school exchange was going to be. And I joked about Fortnite, and he's like, you got that right.
Yeah, baby. We're like our own mafia.
No, B, he is, in fact, 14, though.
Hey, I just need some information. Can I get the address to Fairy Tale Massage, or how this story ends massage? Wink, wink. Can I get the address?
Oh, B.
This story. Can I get that information?
Yeah, let me pass along to Sean's number.
So like once a week, Andrew will come in. He's like, hey, they added a new skin. Hey, they got a new dance in Fortnite. I'm like, what the? Like, skins? Dance? Like, what?
Stop it. I don't come and talk about skins.
I'm just playing. That would actually be Mike in
my
this
kids
assistant.
my kids sell lemonade to get extra money to get new things for their account. Out here,
Not
selling
me.
lemonade.
I use my V-Bucks that I add up.
Hey, did I tell you?
Throughout the game.
Did I tell you my little girl made like $24 at her lemonade stand?
She had a lemonade stand.
Yep.
When?
Yep. This was like a month ago.
I am the king.
And
If I told how much my kids make, we might have to report it on taxes. I'm not gonna say.
Listen,
We're gonna leave it alone.
To be 5 and for me to use lemonade packets, I was like, you go. Her mom took her shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
I normally give like $5 or $10 to kids I see that I get lemonade
like
to.
she can text. She invited the whole Westside football team over to come get some lemonade.
That's sweet. And did they all come?
Hey,
Listen, people
I
were
understand,
gonna Venmo. I was like, she's 5.
She doesn't have that attached to her bank account, DB? Hey, what's Zoe's Venmo? Does she have Cash App?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Ryder the OG.
Hey, and you got my sympathy about last night because I was out there in Burkeville last night too.
Hey,
it's dark.
Did you guys have a full officiating crew when you were watching, or was it just okay? Yeah, we had
four officials.
Yeah, we had a good crew. I asked him after the scrimmage. I said, how clean was this in reality? And he said, we only would have thrown 2 flags, so that was encouraging.
Oh, y'all good? Hey, we had a couple of flags. Offensive line need to get focused on the snap count. Seemed like early on.
Well,
but
don't
a good experience.
Don't worry, we couldn't snap the ball without rolling it on the ground, so we're all in the same game.
Hey.
We were snapping ground balls last night.
Snap the ground balls.
Oh yeah,
on your infield work.
I felt like our QBs were playing shortstop. Yeah. Hey, up over the first, easy throw. Like what the world is
Why are we tossing screen passes?
Like what is going on?
Hey, last time we had a center like that in this state, they did make it to the NFL, so they might have a bright future ahead of them.
Listen, you
Glass half full, B.
Listen, it was subpar when your coach brings the guys up after and he's talking to Coach Limongi. He's like, hey, listen, I'm just telling you guys, you're nowhere near as good as the outside world thinks you are. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
That's awesome. I mean, truth be told.
That's the kid's dreams. Right
listen,
you know what? He crushes dreams on the field. I crush dreams on fort.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, he's kind of hyped too, B. Like you can't see him. Like he's pointing at you like, come get some.
You getting a championship, these little kids
hey,
don't be on
Brian,
social media.
Brian, tell you
because you up here destroying them. Look at this.
Tell your boy I want to squat up.
Oh Lord!
He out here trying to give.
Want to run squads?
Over Fortnite?
No. We'll be on the same team.
Man, be easy, man. Have a good Friday.
You too.
See ya, man. Let's go over to Ramon, Shane. We'll talk a little bit about Bud Crawford because that was brought up by B. What's up, Ramon?
Racer Ramon.
What's up, fellas?
How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. I wanted to compare the Crawford fight to the first episode of Black Mirror, and it's also a way of me following up, asking Damon if you ever saw Black Mirror.
Yeah. So guess what? I listened.
Episode.
So there's a couple of you guys, Amazing Daniel. I'm gonna tell you, the first 3 episodes of Black Mirror, I wasn't vibing.
Yeah, that first episode's kind of gross.
And it wasn't. They didn't really show anything. I mean, I get the whole pig thing and the random daughter on the bridge, but that wasn't my jam, Ramon. Like it was just weird. I wasn't interested. You know what I mean?
I'm happy you weren't interested.
Listen, I was mad at his wife though.
Oh yeah. That's a whole other conversation.
He did what he had to do.
Save the girl,
right? I mean, what would you do for your kids?
Slaughter the pig, eat some bacon.
If he doesn't do it. If he doesn't do it, they lose the whole lifestyle too.
Yeah, I'm out on Black Mirror. Maybe I needed to give it. I was like, okay, I made it through 1. Okay, let's try 2. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is she like doing the video? Is this like swank? Is this like, you know what I mean? Like, because episode 2, I'm like, this is just weird. I couldn't. I'm not that creative, Ramon.
Hey, Damon, did your mom ever tell you how they are in Texas about the entitlement thing?
No, but I can call her over break. What should I ask her?
If people in Texas just thought they were supposed to win because Spence is from Texas and Crawford's from Nebraska.
Hey, and his trainer, Derek James, says he'll win at 154. He's lying.
Ramon, appreciate the call.
All right.
Coach Limongi up next.
We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio. It's the Friday Coach's Corner.
This is a process that we're going through. And although we're looking for the winning edge, shortcuts aren't one of them.
Hello? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Can you believe they called that play?
I formation, quick 141.
94. Fullback banana, hot right.
Right left, wide, nasty, 16 lead pass.
Just what were those coaches thinking?
They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook.
On the Friday Coach's Corner.
Hey, the spot! He's up here, sir.
You misplaced the line of scrimmage, you bunch of dummies.
It's the Friday Coach's Corner.
It's high school football game day for some, but not for this coach that we're talking to right now. Westside waits a week to get started. The pre-ranked number 1 team in Class A. We're speaking with the head coach over at Omaha Westside, Coach Paul Limongi. Now, welcome to the show, Coach.
Hey, how you doing today?
Coach, fantastic. I'm sure you are familiar with the voice that's coming next.
Yeah, long time no talk, Coach. How are you?
What's going on there, Coach?
Coach Sikora bailed me out. He took care of the Yeti. I knew you were in the parking lot last night, but Coach Sikora took care. Yeah. Would you have gone back in there for me between me and you?
Probably not. But I'm glad Coach was there.
At least you're honest.
It was a long day.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah. Well, I got to get things done. Yep.
He said probably a long day. That's funny. Like, all seriousness, though, we were talking. Was that Tuesday? We were in the coach's office, and our staff was like, well, if we bring the kids in at 7, and then we have meetings, and then we have the sub-scrimmage, and deadpan straight face, you go, well, it's kind of what we do on Friday, so I think we better figure out a way to pull that off. That's just your mentality, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's fall camp. Fall camp's, made to be hard, and we want to make sure the guys get everything out of it. We don't want to waste a second. So, yeah.
Coach,
take advantage of it.
DB brought up just in the last segment something that you had said at practice yesterday.
Last night.
It was last night. And you said you're not as good as the outside world thinks you are. You're not as good as you think you are. So there's obviously room to be better. And he talks about motivation on the show all the time. And you kind of have a good sense of what that is. You're constantly challenging your team, your staff. But how do you avoid killing confidence, but at the same time, embrace the challenge?
Well, you just got to, there's a time and place for everything. Fall camp, like I said, is designed to kind of build that callous in our guys' minds about doing hard things. I mean, you can't be a tough physical football team unless you do tough physical things. So we got to make sure our guys earn that title that we want every single day, and each day builds on the next, and you got to know where you're at in the season. I mean, today we start preparing for the season, so there's going to be a different mentality from our coaches, from myself, from our players, that now we start kind of a new phase, which is in season phase, where they're going to start gaining that confidence each and every day just by the fact that they're getting better each and every day. Everybody says you're ready to go. No, we're not ready to go. We're not ready for game 1 yet, but by next Friday at this time, we will be ready for game 1. So, we just got to make sure we take advantage of every single second, whether it's in the weight room, the meeting room, the practice field. We just got to make sure that everything is organized and structured, and our guys understand the situation.
One of the things that I've always admired about you since 2005 to 2023 is you can kind of evolve, but you have some core non-negotiables, right? We were talking about, film exchange and watching tape, and you barely contributed to the conversation until you said, hey, you know what? Guess we got to go old school. Grab your notebooks, grab your pencil. Let's be prepared. There's this fine line between old school toughness, but understanding kids are a little different. And your staff is a little different, right? But there are just some things you don't compromise. How do you navigate it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's tough to do because, everything evolves. And I was telling the guys the other day when it was kind of hot out that, back when I played, this was one of 2 practices that went, we started at 7:30 a.m. We got done about 3:30 p.m. And, we just were built mentally on getting through that. And today kids don't understand that because they didn't have to face that type of, routine back then. And with the rule changes and heat indexes, you just got to be leery of the new guidelines. So you just got to have some common sense, and you want to work them, but you also understand that this is 2023, and you can't do things you did in 1988, but you still have to find a way to push them and make them tough. And it's kind of just like a feel thing, and that's why you get advice from coaches that have been around the block. You get advice from your younger staff members, and you kind of talk and get a feel from your players, from your seniors, from your horses to kind of give you an idea of where you're at and what you need to do each and every day. That's why I never like to look too far in advance with the schedule. I like to get a feel of the kids, see how they're walking around, see what they're feeling with their mentality, and then go from there. So I guess a lot of it has to do with just experience and just getting to know your players and knowing your players and your staff.
Coach, as you do that, you already know what Anthony Rizak can bring, Caleb Benning, Christian Jones, guys like that have been proven playmakers for this team. But what or who are some of the pieces we don't know much about on this team?
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice group of guys that believe in what we're doing, and like you said, Caleb and Anthony, and both Rizaks. But you get a guy like Bo Ryan who plays inside linebacker for us. He's going to get some carries as a running back. Just a tough, hard-nosed, old-school kid that kind of is our driving force, especially defensively. I mean, he's just a believer in the program and do everything that we ask him to do. And then you have like a Cam Bell who's just a tough kid. He's an old-school, kind of ornery type player that we love. That we're leaning on him even for some junior leadership. And you got Jamez Ross, our tailback, that has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's had a great camp. That looks phenomenal. I think he's going to come out, on fire a little bit. And our center Jack Wing is going to be a 3-year starter. I mean, and Jack's just, I say this, he's 5'11", 225, just a high school football player. Doesn't really plan on playing in college, but loves Friday nights. And Brock Regner, we just got, and I know I'm missing guys, but we got a lot of guys that are kind of under the radar in terms of popularity namesakes, but are tough, hard-nosed guys that kind of make us go.
Coach, you've won yourself over in that building, and sometimes it can be hard, right? Replacing a guy that's had some success with the presence of Coach Frank. You never mind him being at practice. He can come around and shoot the breeze with you. The school has embraced you. Your superintendent loves you. Your principal, you've got a good relationship with. How's the Westside community made the transition a little easier as a guy coming from a place that had a ton of success that basically became the face, at least from the athletic standpoint, of a school?
Yeah, it's been awesome since I started. I mean, the community and the staff and the teachers have really been welcoming from the get-go. And I've always said the thing about Westside that makes it really unique and special is that it's all for one for all, and everybody supports each other and wants to help each other and is just wants to see success, wants to. They want to be elite in everything they do, whether it be academics, athletics, different activities, band, show choir. It's just a great atmosphere where, people just want to do the best they possibly can and be elite at everything they do by having the support of the community. And that's really something that I love. And with what Coach Freund has done here in the past, we embrace him. And I just talked to him yesterday. You come around whenever you want, and you did so much good here that we love seeing you, and the guys love seeing you, and the community loves seeing them, on our sideline and being at our thing. So we embrace the history and the tradition that I'm not sure they do that at other places quite like we do. So it's been fantastic.
Coach, I want to fit one more quick one in here because I'm sitting here thinking about like the strength of this team. Is it offense or is it defense? And then I kind of just sat back and thought, man, what is Westside going to do on special teams this year without Albano? How much do you have to adjust offensively, knowing that you don't have somebody that can put 3 points on the board from 50 or 60 yards away this year? Or do you have a good replacement for TA?
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our special forces, as Damon will tell you, and we feel, especially we have a kid, Will Bowerly, and even some guys behind him that we feel could boot the ball pretty well. I mean, they did very well last night in our inter-squad scrimmage. He's actually an experienced guy. Will Bowerly will be a senior, but he actually was the kicker and punter, I believe, when he was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming back with some experience, and he's confident. He's a soccer player. He's been around the block a little bit, so we're excited to have him. We won't change anything that we did last year within our kicking game. It'll be the same type of thinking.
Coach, is it cool if I use a mechanical pencil tonight as opposed to one that's sharpened, or do you want me to bring an old number 2?
Old number 2, I'm holding one right now.
Coach Limongi, we appreciate the time, man. Good luck this season.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Later,
all right, buddy.
Literally, see you later, right?
My dude.
It's the head coach over at Omaha Westside, the state champion. All right, when we come back, we'll get to Michigan Lance. I'd like to bring up something that we saw at Colorado's football practice. That's next.
The show will be back in 4 minutes. The show will be back in 3 minutes. The show will be back in 2 minutes. The show will be back in 1 minute. show will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, top of the hour on Coffee and Cream. DB, Andrew Rogers, happy to have you back. We are live on ESPN 590 Hurrdat Sports Radio. We're live on Twitter, live on YouTube. You can get involved on the YouTube side of things by sending us a message there, or you can give us a call, 888-638-4876. We have Mike Sautter coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll continue talking high school sports with him. Matt Vrzal to close the show at 9:43. We'll do trivia in between. So, DB, I gave you a little bit of headway today. Now you know there's a lead there. Get yourself prepared for trivia at 9:30.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, look at that. Great little segue there by our producer, Shane, to bring on Michigan Lance. Lance, good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How you doing?
Good. It's been, it's been a hot minute since I've heard your voice.
Yeah, man. I try to give you all I could in the summer and the spring, man. I know I'll be winding down here once the fall got going, so but I got a chance to get back with you. DB, I just read your text.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, you sent me a deal on a kind of a father-son contract, which I like. First of all, I admire your guys' relationship, right? Like, I think that's one of the cool things about you is how you parent both LG and your two girls. But on this football contract with Langston, you're gonna be broke.
Well, hopefully, yeah, that's the plan. So, you got these. What really got me on it was the Saquon Barkley deal.
Oh,
NFL contract,
playing incentives.
Well, just contracts in general. How running backs are getting the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? Hey, man, because my son wants to play in the NFL. So I said, you know what? Let me prepare him now so he kind of understands and know how this thing is going to go when he gets there. You know me, man. Any way I can prevent, then I'm going to do that. And he plays a position where it's not really active. So he plays DB, which means he plays corner and free safety. And he also plays receiver. Well, you're not close to the action. So you're kind of dependent on others a lot. So I want to make sure he's active
and
not just standing around looking. So I said, you know what? Hey, yeah, I can coach it to you or preach it to you, but let me give you something. Let me get you started on an incentive base. I put in there if it's varsity and JV. So what he does on JV, it's lower price. It's lower money than what he gets on varsity. So for varsity, a pick six, I think I put like $200. For JV, a pick six is $100.
Gee, many Christmas. You want to adopt? I go out and rack up a few numbers.
Right. Hey, man, but think about it, DB. How many times do you want kids to get in the action and they may get there and then they'll just stop? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't want well, here's one thing about me parenting, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I get on this radio and I sit here and criticize a lot of players, right? So, but I practice what I preach. Whatever I'm criticizing them about, I'm instilling in my children not to do so they won't be criticized for it. I don't get with that. If I talk about winners, I'm sending my kid to a winning school, or my kids, let me say that. Because my daughter, hey, volleyball. Hey, she wants to play D1 volleyball, then I'm sending you to a winner. So she's in the winning program club team now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just talk to talk.
So
DB can attest to this.
So Lance, would you take away the incentive at any point? Like going back to your son.
After the first pick 6, he will.
Yeah, are you taking away those incentives?
You guys will be eating red beans and rice for the next month.
Hey, but think about, that'll be great because that means I got a baller. That means I ain't got to pay for college. So, all right, listen, he's a freshman. So if I'm paying my $200 now, I don't have to pay $100,000 next week.
Oh,
right.
Shoot.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of asking from the point of like, are you going to keep the incentive like as he goes throughout high school, or will you eventually say like, okay, now you do it? Like now you just have to do it. Like
yeah. Well, put it this way: if he's doing what's on the incentive base, then guess who's going to start paying him? Somebody else. NILs. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at. So I'm preparing him for that too.
Sure.
That's the goal. My plan is to get off the books and somebody else get on. Because that's what we're playing now. That's the game we're playing. This ain't when me and DB grew up. Hey, sooner or later somebody gonna take over this, pay in his pocket, his bank account. So guess what? Listen, I'm not the guy to sit and complain. I adjust. If this is what we're doing, then I'm going to be prepared for us to do it.
Lance, you had something on A-Rod you wanted to get to.
Man, this dude. Hey, man. This dude is the biggest clown. He's always been a clown.
You're such a hater. God.
Oh, really? Oh, DB. Okay. All right. So, DB, you're a lineman, right?
Yeah.
You're a lineman. And your quarterback is talking about, it's going to be jobs up for grabs. Hey, who are you? Are you on the team just like me? You ain't making no decision on if I'm cut. So you're paying me now. You're not. What about you? You're 80. You're 80 years old. This ain't 2009, and you sitting here talking about job. Yeah, your job up for grab too. Because if you don't win and be a winner like you say you are, and this is your team and you're a leader, you were never a leader. He didn't lead that team to a championship in Green Bay. That was Charles Woodson. That was not Aaron Rodgers. Now and you can tell by his leadership, guys' jobs are up for grabs. Who are you? Like, so now you a good evaluator? Stop. Mister, I play when I want to. Oh, they're not treating me good. Now you're being treated good. You got everything you want. Now go show and prove. I guarantee you won't win a championship, and that'll prove the overrated guy that he is. He's Brett Favre 2.0. I don't want to hear that crap.
Hey,
did Charles Woodson win the MVP that year or Rodgers?
Real.
He won the defensive MVP. Okay. He was defensive player of the year.
That defense was sick.
Yeah, it was. Andrew? It was good. Oh, I was just asking. It was a question. It was a question.
Wow.
Hey, just go. Hey,
he's on a heater.
Go back and watch the tape. Go back and watch the tape. Go back and watch the in the locker room. Who was the one leading that team? It was not A-Rod. It shows in his last couple years playing.
Hey,
you know he's not a leader. Go ahead, DB.
Wow. Real quick.
On to these feelings.
Prep and Bellevue West open up tonight. Bellevue West obviously loaded. You said there's only 2 schools you'd send your kids to if you were still in Omaha. That would be Bellevue West and Westside. Do you think, or are you hearing your alma mater? Well, that Central has enough in the tank. We had a conversation about OPS schools and who could be the bell cow this year. North is the odds-on favorite just because I think most people have them in the top 6. They return a ton. Do you like enough of the young talent mixed with like a Pyfrom that Central has in the tank?
No, because Pyfrom can't do it by himself. Nah, man, it's North and everybody else. Everybody, and so what? 7 schools? No, man. Wow, what is it? 9 schools in OPS now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's North, and then the other 8, and the other 8 are all on the same level. Now there's a bottom 2 or 3, but from 3 to 8, they all can beat each other. You know what I mean? It's maybe I don't know about the 2 new schools what they got, but the others that are 3 through 8, they can all beat each other. So there is no other bell cow. It's North, and Coach Johnson over at South, there's a plan and a blueprint for them in the future to be next. So if I'm doing predictions, because there's a lot of new coaches at OPS who can come out in the next couple years, then it'll be Omaha South, not only because of the coach, because of the administration and the community. They have a community base there, right?
That's been Coach Martin's strength the whole time at North,
exactly.
Right? He's so good in the community.
Yep. Right. And so, but South has that type of community too, if you have somebody to invest in it. And now they have Coach DeJuan Johnson to invest in it, to reciprocate what they put out. Go over to south side of Omaha on a Friday night and see how they get down. It's pretty cool.
They have 2,900 kids in that building.
Exactly.
Is that a lot?
Dude,
that's
kind of like their 2022 census. That was the most that I had seen in a building, maybe ever, not named, in the common era.
Right. And so that's what I mean by, like, they have a whole community to build from. And right now, the other schools in OPS, they don't really have that. You know what I mean? North is, you got Benson, Central, but they don't really have North is taking it all because Martin's been there and built it up. And how you going to chink that armor? Like, South Omaha doesn't have to go over to North Omaha. They got everything they need right there. So that's why I see that can be built, man. That's just the way it is.
Quietly, I wonder, and I should ask him because he's my guy. I wonder if Coach Martin feels pressure because it's such a difficult job that he's made look easier than it really is just because of his personality.
Well,
that'd be a hard job to replace.
No, it is a hard job.
He'd be very, very difficult to replace.
Oh, most definitely, because here's the thing. You got to have somebody invest. Martin started to invest. And whatever you put in, you get out at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And he put in a lot into the community, and look where he got out. Now, the reason it's hard, because what you say, DB, it's hard to do the easy things every day. Right? Yeah. Then you say that over the summer, Coach of Summer Nebraska.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to go out in the community every day. Yeah, it's easy to say, hey, man, go to this, go to that, go to this game, or go to this event in the community. It's easy to do, just show up. But it's hard to do it every day.
Yeah, he does. All right, my guy.
Lance, appreciate the call.
Hey, Andrew, don't give me. Hey, you want to push my buttons? It's Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Bear down, baby. Bear down.
All right, buddy.
All right, yeah, bear down.
All right, Michigan Lance. We appreciate the phone call. We appreciate all your calls on the show. 888-638-4876. Maybe some fighting words, huh, Aaron Rodgers?
Everybody is gassed up.
Hey, speaking of fights, so there was a fight that broke out at Colorado's football practice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, it got mixed reaction. Dion not happy that some of his guys didn't join in on the fight, verbally telling them in the huddle right after it happened.
Fights, we all fight.
Right? Was he encouraging culture or confrontation? That's the question that I want to present here, because I'll tell you this. I don't actually hate the mentality that Dion came in with.
Do we have the clip?
I don't know.
I should send it to Shane.
I don't have the clip.
Notice how we both said that at the same time. Like, we should send that to Shane. But I don't actually hate the mentality, because in any situation, I don't want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to. I don't go somewhere and be like, I'm going to start throwing bows. But if it means standing up for your brother in a moment, that just needs to be instinctive, right? And I think that's what Dion was trying to get at by saying that. He wasn't saying like, hey, we fight, now everybody's just starting to throw haymakers. Like, that's not it. He's telling you to be involved. And whether that involvement is ripping off another guy from one or the other, or trying to separate, like, it's just being there and being present, right? Be that guy that breaks it up. You don't have to throw punches. And, let's be real. Was it actually a fight? Like, not really. It was more like just some pushing and shoving and jawing. But, overall, that's just like the standard in sports. Mm-hmm. When a guy throws a punch in baseball, what happens next? The bench is clear, right? Everybody from the bench comes out. Or even there's times where people just jaw at one another. Like if I'm a batter and a ball got too close to me and I'm like, talking with the pitcher and now I take a step forward, people leave the benches for that. And you do that because you're a team and you do everything as one. So in this case, like when I heard what Dion was saying, like I didn't think at all like, oh my gosh, like here we go, Dion just trying to be a fighter out here. Like, no, he's trying to build a culture at Colorado because these are a bunch of new guys joining a team with a new coach.
Man, that is so good. It's when you hit me with these things on the fly philosophically, I have to really take some pause because sometimes I fight my nature versus nurture. So that's hard, right? Because
it's a hard balance.
I came from a college culture and growing up where confrontation was fairly common, right? I remember, we had some epic pushing and shoving. I remember we were playing at the Gladiators my middle school years, and we had some guys, man. Mike Stick, Clinton Childs, Steve Stanifer, some of these old school athletic legends, and it was very, very intense. Right at Nebraska, we had a legendary fight. When I say I'm not a big hyperbole guy. I'm talking about 3 or 4 minutes, which is an 2 or 3.
It feels like 2 hours.
It really does. Where it turned into offense versus defense, but it started with running backs versus D-line, and then it just kind of morphed, right? And Coach Osborne expressing how disappointed he was. And that's not the way to do things. And that's not the right way to go about showing good discipline, because he wanted us to be disciplined. And he would talk about how things are going to happen and you have to learn to control your emotions. And, we had a guy rip a helmet off another guy and he cracks him over the head with it. And he's bashed open. And this is real. Like this isn't, this is not hyperbole. So, and I remember coming from, Berg to Northwest to North and Westside. I said to our staff, I go, how I've been here X amount of years for, however many years, I haven't seen one fight in practice. Like how intense are we? And so I kind of used it as a barometer. But in my heart of hearts, I know you want to rally for one another, not against one another. So it shouldn't be really a benchmark, but sometimes I do think it embodies how passionate you are about what you're doing.
Yeah, because you're not condoning a fight. You're condoning, the passion behind it.
So it's a hard balance for me, right? And like, because like on a personal note, right, it typifies my personality, right? I fight my part of myself all the time with how I deal with conflict. Like I had to learn that you can't always be aggressive, right? But it's more in my it's more in my nature to handle things like that and that way. So that's a hard question for me, because I can't give you some canned answer that sounds good, because I know my real personality.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's probably 100 people out here listening right now, of however many in the audience, that can tell you a story about how I have poorly reacted to something out of anger versus kind of growing into, okay, I don't need a pound of flesh anymore. And you can be for one another and go to bat for one another without being like that. But I think you have to have some of that spirit in you, right? If you're passive by nature, you're just passive. Like whatever's in you when you get squeezed is who you are. So that's a fine. I know it's probably not exactly what you expected to hear, but I have to give you
no right or wrong answer.
But I have to give you a real answer because I know my personality.
And
so the canned answer would be, hey man, listen, man, you don't want guys fighting with one another, but I mean,
you don't, but it happens, right?
Listen,
and so it's how you
want
react.
to. You want to hear the audio?
Yeah, play. Let me tell you this real quick. So a guy that I'm very, very close to, that I like a ton, Jay Foreman. Okay, we've had times where I said, Jay, I'm putting on my tennis shoes now. I will meet you in the driveway. Right, I will drive to Lincoln over this, or I fought. Didn't necessarily win. I fought Clinton, in his living room. Like I fought Troy Dumas, right? Went to jail over those 8 stitches. So I know what that's like, but I know for the most part, all the aforementioned guys, like I'm close to now. So can you get by? Sure. I mean, you can. I think the world of Josh Lukey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I shut a party down on New Year's that he was hosting, acting a complete fool. A complete fool. I want to fight everybody in there on New Year's. And he's my guy to this day. So I can't sit here and tell you, oh, man, I wouldn't do that. Right? Because sometimes I would. And I think you need a little passion. But I think you have to hear him say the message before you know how to get, because our guys, after we got those lectures and we went through a stretch, Vrzal can tell you this, there was a stretch of about probably 2 or 3 weeks of very intense practices. And I remember at the one, it wasn't even the big one. There was one, and I'm on the stadium steps. I'd fought this guy, Mike Robertson, and Vrzal got into it with one of our defensive backs. He got into it with Tyrone Williams. We're running, and he's like, guys, we got to get past this.
Right.
And then we kind of made it about each other. But I'm just telling you, like, real time, it's hard to negotiate. Shane?
He just fought. I seen 2 of y'all walking off over there, and you got a key teammate fighting. What they do that at?
Nowhere.
What they do that at?
Not here.
In one fight, we all fight. You understand that?
No, sir.
I don't want to see y'all walking off when somebody's fighting.
Yes, sir.
Never again.
All right, come on. I was in that bitch.
The word to hone in on there, key. There was a key player in there. He's saying one of his best guys was in that mix. And if you're a lineman, if you're one of the bigger bodies, because I think it wasn't the running back that was in that mix, who's much smaller than the D lineman or linebacker that was grabbing onto him. There's a key player in there. You have to make yourself present, because if this is an opponent doing that to your guy, you would step in. So you need to do it here too. You have to protect your smaller guys. You have to protect your playmakers.
And it's funny because I got one of my older guys, right? And he practically took care of me, especially my first year there, because he was older than me. And he looked out and he was like, man, Frank loved that stuff, right? He's talking about Coach Solich.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's part of being a competitor. And now this is like, if I told you what he does now, you'd be like, well, how do you have that kind of mindset doing what you do as a profession, right? Because he's in the help business. But he's right, though, because I remember that stretch. Like Coach Solich didn't want the running. Like he would be mad. Like if you didn't. Like if you took it, right? It was sacrilegious to run out of bounds in practice. Don't concede a yard, right? Don't you turn and you do the lift drill on the sidelines. Like he would say, you give it to the defense. He was just so intense. It was hard to kind of turn down. So I get the A41 or the one for all for one. But I can't sit here and tell you, you know what? I thumb my nose up at those altercations in practice because I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It doesn't really bother me. And I don't necessarily think there's a direct correlation to discipline in real games because we weren't a heavily penalized team. But to each their own, because I have to know more about the culture.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Dion is trying to establish right now.
Is the culture. The
over
brotherhood.
Anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll get back into more thoughts like this on Coffee and Cream. Stick around.
We'll be right back in 5 minutes. We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, well, if the Colorado football team's a little dinged up after the little brawl that broke out in practice, they can take their bodies over to Dingman's, but they'll only work on cars there. So you should probably take your car over to Dingman's if you actually want to get the proper service. Dingman's, 4 great locations in the area. They have a standalone mechanical shop right off Maple, and they have some awesome give back programs that you can be involved in, one being Epic for Girls. Epic works alongside organizations providing accessible and affordable opportunities to compete in multiple sports. and its focus is on leveling the playing field for girls of color in sports. It serves as the umbrella organization to amplify sports programming, call attention to the issues of inequity in sports, and address incidences of violence occurring in the world of youth sports in Omaha. Just one of 3 great give back programs that they have over at Dingman's. If you have a problem with your car, take it over to Dingman's Collisions Center. Bing! And that would be a problem right there if you crash. Did you see the video I sent you, by the way, on Twitter?
Yeah.
It was a bunch of cars just crashing into other cars.
Yeah,
they probably need to go to Dingman's. Dingman's would be in business for a long time because of that accident.
I tell you, considering how poorly our coaching staff parks over at Westside, somebody's going to need to go see them too.
Good thing you have Darcy on speed dial. Oh, wait, no, that's
we
Shane.
without question have the worst parking staff in America over at Westside.
Is that why it's the DB driving school?
Man, it's just like, it's not that hard, man. You get
those are
2 lines.
They're smaller spots over there.
They are. How do you know? Because they are.
They're legit.
It's not a nice place to park, but you
can still get in the lines.
Yeah, man. Give yourself an extra 18 seconds. If you park and your wheels are still diagonal, you probably didn't do it right. Right? Like, how do you leave? How do you park with your wheels still at an angle?
Yeah,
there's a 99%
If you get out of the car and you know your tires
not
are
good.
turned
and
in a certain direction,
and spare me the whole I'm within the yellow lines, because if you open your door, like, that's a problem for somebody. So relax over there with. Well, I'm between the yellow lines. Yeah, you're a
What if they're a little bit nervous when they're?
It seems like
Figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. If you're nervous driving, stay off the road.
Speaking of figuring it out, Shane, did you grab that little short movie clip that I wanted you to grab before the show? Did you happen to get that?
I don't know.
Jeez,
just a question,
too
man.
many questions, man.
Did you get it or not?
Well, you know what today is, don't you?
No.
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
That's totally Cam. That was the guy that was just in here.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
Did you get the clip, Shane, or no?
Dude, I still think Sasha was the one that birthed that whole clip. Dude, that look on your face was of such disgust. That was classic. Like, you're just utterly disappointed. He couldn't do one simple thing that you asked him to do.
It's all right.
Shane,
I did it, but I don't know where the hell it went.
His level.
He's buying time.
You totally, yeah.
I'm irritated
As
now.
the kids would say, those eyebrows are on fleek, right? Like, you have those eyebrows. You spoke with your face. Like, you. Shane,
it's kind of like
if you could be sent to your room over an eye roll, it just happened.
I
go to your room.
I felt like Michael Bluth in Arrested Development, just like kind of walking.
Go to your room without your fish
Michael.
sticks and canned corn.
I like canned corn. You wanted a movie clip?
Yeah, can you play it?
I'm Paul Crew. I'm going to be your coach, your captain, your quarterback.
He is so stupid.
Years. Why can't I be quarterback, huh?
You're right. Let's see what you got.
He is.
Hit me. I'm open. That's why. Now sit down and shut up.
Just out of
I
control.
just ate popcorn.
Do you think that's what Marcus Mariota was saying last night?
No, but I kind of
Overthrow City.
I kind of like
mid-season form.
Yeah, why? So is it weird that Mariota's a guy that I've always had an affinity for, regardless of his
not at
play?
all. Not at all.
I have always liked Mariota
because he's a likable guy.
I would agree, Damon.
I actually like what he does off the field. Well, obviously more than he does on the field.
Like, I don't know. It's just one of those guys I kind of have a hang up of.
Did the Falcons really lose 15 of 17 last year by one score with Mariota as the quarterback?
Yeah.
That really happened?
Yeah.
That was a thing. I wasn't just dreaming.
As my man Michigan Lance would say, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Shane, thanks for finding that clip. I don't know if you just got done downloading it, but thanks for finding it for me.
Oh, no problem.
Because we were talking about figuring things out, and I think our little lefty from the longest yard needs to figure out if he should be playing quarterback.
It's unbelievable how he just circumvented that whole thing. Just zero culpability, just moved right along, played something different, took the pressure off what the real question was. But I got something for you, Shane. I just want you to know, like, we didn't forget in that little 18 seconds of your distractions. So you do or don't have the clip?
Oh, I see.
I do. I played it.
Yeah, he did just play it.
What's wrong with that dude?
He's asking though, Shane, before you played the clip. He's saying, answer that question. Did you have it?
No, I had it. It was just on I didn't know where it was at, what page it was on.
Like, what is going on? Do you need a separate computer for music?
Do you know what I was like?
What? It was like, okay. Oh, okay.
Now, all of a sudden, if we have a fight that breaks out in the studio, don't worry, I'm gonna get involved.
You know what I was thinking when Andrew was calling that drop?
I hate when he does that. It drives me up the wall. What was the ugh thing from?
I don't know, but you know what I was like?
But it was like,
That is funny. And you can hear my laugh after it because I start like a cough.
Do you remember what I was talking about?
No, not one bit. But it's probably us just, getting close to writing the FCC violation line, and then boom, you say something, and you're like, probably
Come
shouldn't
on,
have said
man.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of tightrope that line often.
I don't even know what the parameters are. I just feel like
What are parameters?
That's the first time I laughed all day. That's funny.
Shut up, man. Paul Sautter just whipping into the parking lot.
Oh, he's here. Look at that. He's coming our way at 9:00. I guess your way. Our way. Idiot.
My way.
Is it the highway?
Somebody sings that song. It's my way.
I did it my way. Sinatra, right?
Probably.
Well, he did sing it.
One of those guys.
I did it my way.
See, I ain't doing all that.
Nailed it.
I'm out on that.
Where's my fedora?
I'm not a Sinatra guy.
I need a suit. You know what? I need a suit if I'm repping like Sinatra. I'm actually going suit shopping today.
Hey, I'm telling you who you need to call.
Ghostbusters.
Yes. You remind me. You do have some Vankman mannerisms in you. That Vankman? No, our guy Jay that calls. Shannon.
The last 2 days, Jay?
Yes. He is the suit doctor.
Does he have his own place?
Yeah, he has. He provides suits. He's a youth pastor by trade, but he is in the suit game.
I'm looking for a unique wedding suit, like something like really light gray, and I haven't been able to find one.
He hooked Caleb up with 3.
Oh, Jay, hit me up.
And we're.
I like giving business to the people that give us the business on the show.
He hooked Caleb up with 3 because they have to dress up on Thursdays. So they're currently being tailored.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm listen, he's got good fashion sense too.
Taylor? I need a good suit for the wedding. Like I'm going with Ashley and we're just trying to find
are you trying to be the power couple?
Kinda. Like we're gonna be that couple that wears the same Nike shoes at the reception.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get like the same color. Is this Jay? Did he just call? No way. Is he on it?
I have no idea. Nope.
I saw a C.
It's Commander Cody.
Cody.
Oh, it must be football. Shane, punch him up. We got 1:44.
Did you hear how fast he hung up the phone there?
Before Sautter comes in and has a
meltdown. You could hear the clank. He was trying to get Cody on.
Commander Cody, what's up, buddy?
What is going on?
Are you on your way to North Platte or what?
Friday?
Yeah,
it is Friday.
I am heading to North Platte next weekend to help good buddy move out there.
Dude, you're a real one.
You help people move.
I don't even know if I'd help my guy move across the street, man. Let alone going 4.5 hours.
Tell him it's not pizza and beer. That's not a good payment.
Yeah, and you're the salt of the earth out there. So is it our guy?
Oh yeah, it's our guy.
So where's he moving? Where's he moving to? Where's he?
They're moving out of the city up to an acreage.
Wow, life must be good.
Yeah, well, life's really good for their son right now.
Over at Montana. I hope they win. I'm cheering for him.
Oh yeah.
Hey, 45 seconds, Cody. What do you got on football?
Okay, 45 seconds. Oh, I just want to talk a little bit about the Huskers. I don't want to buy into this excitement yet, but it's nice having a coach that's honest in his pressers and not telling us every week it's the practice of the best practice we ever had. And then my last question for Damon is, what's John Tallman up to these days?
So I text with JT regularly. He apparently listens to the show. He's still a funny guy, but he's just kind of been laying in the cut. But he's around. He just texted me yesterday during the show. He told me I made him spit out his coffee.
Bring back the Sasquatch lady. Have a good day.
All right, bud.
Thanks, Cody. Enjoy the day. Wow, we got a couple of calls. We will get to you guys when we come back. Jay is on it. Look at that. He's
telling
waiting
you.
online, too.
He's a real dude.
All right, we'll do that. And then we want to also talk about some solo numbers that will be on some red and white jerseys this year. That's next.
We will be back in 4 minutes. We will be back in 3 minutes. We will be back in 2 minutes. We will be back in 1 minute. We will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, welcome back. Coffee and Cream alongside Damon Benning, Andrew Rogers. Relax over there, Squirmy.
You see how
the guy in the next segment is already here.
You see how he walked in, though?
Yeah, he walked in like he was coming out of a tunnel for a fight.
Team hoodie. Hey.
Did you hear him? He goes, want to fight? Yeah, he goes, I'm not picking violence today.
Yeah, this dude
he goes, I'm not mad about anything today. And all of a sudden,
he stays hyper aggressive.
So if I walked in with him, would that make me Eminem?
Well, you wear your hoodie sometimes.
Can you rap "Lose Yourself" for me right now?
I can lip sync it like Eminem did.
It's not your segment yet.
He wants in.
Yeah,
he wants in. Look, he's grabbing the headset.
We have phone calls.
We have phone calls.
We have phone calls to get to.
Yeah, let's get to Jay first, Shane. We'll go to line 2.
Jay, good morning, man. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Jay? You gonna hook me up?
I guess so. Man.
All right. You didn't have a choice, huh?
I didn't mean to put you on blast, but it just was kind of impromptu, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Watch this. This is what's crazy. I was leaving. I'm later than usual. I'm leaving the church after my little fun time with the Lord, right?
Yep.
And I
Amen.
decide to go to Olson's Bakery. You feel me? And get a donut that I did not need. You understand?
Hey, what's your go-to?
So I go the opposite way of my house and just happen to hit the radio and I hear you talking. I'm like, what?
It's divine intervention.
He says he wants to be stylish. And then he dropped tennis shoes, which was funny because can you imagine him rocking the blue zip up that you hook Caleb up with like some Air Force Ones and like the white tee?
You're supposed to wear that. You're supposed to wear some Air Force Ones, but if you're in a certain age group, but if you're my age group, I wear the Adidas Stan Smith shirt.
Oh, you old soul.
And if you're in Mike Sauter's age group, you wear the Monarchs.
He can get away with the Dunks or the Air Force Ones. He's in that cool kid circuit.
As long as they all white. And he could wear on his wedding day, because he said gray. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, light gray.
Yeah, I got you. We get a light gray with a perfect fit, and you put that on if you want to with some all white. Your choice. Your choice for all white. Your choice. You know what I mean?
Okay, where can
you want to?
We got to make this happen, man. We got to entertain this.
It's done. No, it's done.
Oh,
that's easy.
Hey,
like, that's Damon.
He does. He is good.
Well, I don't need just a suit for me. I need suits for everybody.
Okay. Now you talking good. They don't pay me. They don't pay me for being a youth pastor. I need all that.
You're just doing God's work.
Oh, Jay, I appreciate it, buddy. You just want me to give him your number?
Please.
Okay, I got.
And just text me and let me know what it is. And then we can do all that, man. We do, like, seriously though, buddy, we do this, man. It's not it's a for real thing, and weddings and stuff like that, and prom, like I'm telling you, we got the heat for prom. I got the prom stuff that everybody is imagining in their little head, but we don't do it tacky. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, we don't want you to look goofy and say that Jay did it. Please don't.
My man.
I bought from somebody else.
My man. Prayers are answered.
I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you.
Got action.
All right, let's go to line 3 now, Shane, and talk a little Husker football with Smooth Red. What's up, man?
One of the coolest voices in radio. What's up, Smooth?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How you been?
Oh, I'm doing well, man.
He is a cool voice.
I'm telling you, he's OG. This is OG right here.
Hey, I'm just off work today. Lord blessed me to have a Friday off and had the pleasure of dropping my granddaughters off at school today. So that's always a.
Is that a pleasure or a nightmare?
Hey, were they in the 300?
No, they're in 250. IS
250. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a short time listener and a long time fan of Liquid Shano and of course Damon Big Dog Benning.
I wish. Hey, do you still have the 300?
No, do you mean the LS 430?
It was the 430.
I had the Big Dog, but I got rid of that one. Got a little smaller one, and my wife's got another one, and we gave the ES 350 to my daughter.
Yeah, life is good. You know what I mean?
Hard work pays off.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's the words of wisdom this morning. Hard work pays off. You want nice things, work hard.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I got in the car like the previous caller and heard my boy Lance Griffith, Coach Griffith on the radio. So I said I got to give a call.
Yeah, we gave him a long leash, man. Sometimes it's a little too long because he can he can be off the chain, but he was okay this morning.
That's my guy.
That's a good dude.
But yeah, I'm just calling with the Husker football season upon us. I just wanted to call and just give my expectations, man. And the bar is still 6-6 for me. You know, this first year, get us to a bowl game, and maybe win in the bowl game if we draw a team that we can handle. But the second year will be when my expectations will go increase. Of course.
Let me ask you something as a lifer. So Andrew said something on Monday. He said, we were talking about the rebuild and kind of how Rule has built programs, and he said he thinks most people would take 2 wins this year for 8 next year. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about what my sphere of influence would say. If you were only would you trade a 2-win season this year for a guaranteed 8 next year?
And the year thereafter, 8 and above thereafter, or just a consistent?
We didn't make it that far.
Yeah,
so I don't want to sweeten the pot.
Okay, well, I've been hurt for so many years. one more year wouldn't hurt if I knew I was going to get 8 and maybe above 8 for the upcoming years. But Rule is saying and doing all the right things. I mean,
it's uncanny.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy from what we had prior. But now you just gotta equal wins, man. All that stuff has to equal wins. So other than that, man, I'm excited about this season, man. And now that I got your number locked in, I can call you from time to time and we can chop it up.
Yes, sir. Hey, Red, let me ask you one more thing, Red.
Sure.
Is part of just saying the bowl season like for the sake of going to a bowl, or is it partly because you think we finally have a coach that would do something with those extra 15 practices? Or both?
Finally got a coach. I think we finally have a coach that will maximize those 15 practices. And when I say maximize, you're going to have to maximize real quick because we got Oregon and Washington and UCLA and USC coming. So if we don't get this boat turned around and headed in the right direction quick, man, we may be a bottom feeder for a while.
But is that because you see like Purdue and Illinois and these other teams not going anywhere?
Well, Illinois is going to go somewhere. Illinois will probably surprise a lot of people going forward, long as Bielema's there. He knows the lay of the land there. He knows how to recruit. He has an identity that he's been playing to forever. I don't know what happened in Arkansas, but with that being said, I think that they will. I don't think they'll fall back to the old Illinois. I think they'll go up from here. So as I said, man, we got to get this thing right, and we got to get it right quick because what are we now? The Big 30 or the Big 40?
Pretty close. Oh, okay. So again, okay, perfect. See, you keep saying something, so I have to ask you another question. You're old school, man. You go back to the Big 8 days. Are you out on conference realignment, or are you just rolling with it because that's what you do?
Man, in today's world, things change so quick. Not only in sports, but just in the world in general, man. You got to be flexible. You got to be able to change and adjust. And that happens in the work field. You got to be able to adjust on the fly. So whatever comes, you just got to adjust, and we got to be ready for it. Nebraska has all the money we need. We have everything in place. I'm waiting for us to win again because imagine when we start winning again, and you go into restaurants and convenience stores, and I've been around a long time. And when we were winning in the 90s, man, everybody was in a good mood. Everybody.
Heck, we'll be okay with paying $3.80 for gas, huh, Smooth?
Yeah, man. I might have to get my little 3 cents off. That 3 cents goes a long way sometimes, man.
All right, man. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, man, you guys stay well, man, and I'll be checking out some Friday Night Lights this weekend.
We will too.
I appreciate you, Smooth.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. That's funny. Yeah. So right away, Jay, he's like, heck no, I'm not trading 2 wins for 8. My buddy Ryan, I think he put it on Twitter. He's like, heck no, I'm not trading.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not trading 2 wins for 8.
And I think a lot of people say that too right now because the football season is here.
Yeah.
And if this was 6 months ago and we asked the question, when the football season isn't approaching and you aren't like overly excited, because it's here, I think more people would be okay saying, okay, it's 2 wins because that's what he did at Baylor, right? He got 1 win, and then you win
it's not
10
good.
games.
My man Preston was a little more firm. He said, HE double hockey sticks, no. Tell your boy Andrew, we're not trading 2 wins this year to go 8-4 next year.
No.
That is not the standard. We need to get the HE double hockey sticks out of Power 5.
Yeah, so play it live. So that's what they're saying. Play it live. I say I play guarantees.
You are looking live.
You guys are hitting on a dealer 6 right now. I'm staying on my 20. One of those people.
Oh, you got to treat the 2 like an ace. Actually, no, you don't.
All right, Mike Sautter coming your way next. Stick around for that. The 9 o'clock hour of Coffee and Cream. Matt Vrzal also coming up in that hour. Play trivia too, but Vrzal first.
We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Mike Sautter.
I would agree, Damon.
Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Mike Sautter.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot.
Mike Sautter.
All right, you heard him. Well, at least he tried to be heard.
Yeah, we
and
had to
we had to talk about him.
Like the nation with Malcolm.
It's Mike Sautter. Mike Sautter with his hood up, and he has the headset inside. So he's pulling
until further notice.
He kind of has like the Princess Leia look going on right now with the two buns on both sides.
I can't hear myself,
There
Shane.
he is. We hear you now.
Oh gosh.
Can you hear yourself?
Can you hear me now?
No.
No,
I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna blast this then.
There we go. Whoa, wait. That's a little loud. How y'all doing?
Did you ever find those droids you were looking for? You get the
Did you say drawers?
Droids.
Droids.
You said
Droids?
drawers.
Dress.
I got my drawers.
You find those drawers you're looking for?
Well, we were
over
talking
there?
about boxers in the coach's office in the 7 o'clock hour.
That was just Coach Limongi being weird.
Hey, we finally got our washer and dryer yesterday, so my mother-in-law doesn't have to wash my drawers anymore. So I feel good about that.
That would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't.
Pretty uncomfortable.
Why don't
Honestly,
you just do your
I
own
wouldn't
laundry
care.
and use what?
I wouldn't care. I'd let it happen.
This is
I'd just be like,
speaking of
doing the
uncomfortable.
laundry.
Who am I sitting next to? Right? Neither one of you have any problems with your in-laws doing your laundry?
Totally do.
Not one bit.
100%.
You couldn't just go over there and do the laundry?
But I would do it myself.
Oh,
But if
I
he was
thought
like, hey,
you
I'll
were
do the
cool.
laundry, I'd be like, all right, whatever. I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
No, so
we're different.
for context, we moved, right? And then the washer and dryer, didn't come with the other appliances that we bought because we bought all new appliances. And then it just...
Well, that's cool. Hurrdat Sports must be treating you well.
The house I lived in before, we did okay on. I'll just say that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Still wearing issue-worn gear, though. I mean, I see
Issue-worn.
Battle. You representing Battle today, man. You
They
get any new clothes?
He was complaining about not having a Hurrdat Sports polo at.
How does this happen, though? How does this happen? Everybody else has like Hurrdat Sports geared out, right?
Yeah.
I just have the one T-shirt that
I
like
think it
the
got
neck
lost in
is
your mother-in-law's
Listen,
washer.
you
the
can
neck
have-
is as big as my shoulders.
You can have my polo because I'll never put that.
Well, it's
on.
probably 2X.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
My hoodie though is on point.
I don't know if you've ever seen me, but I don't. Probably not a 2X guy.
Well, that's why I was checking to see if you were wearing shorts today, because you like.
I can't see.
Wear those all the way down.
That's just Shane being weird. Are you ready? Are you ready for today?
I got a busy day. I got like
we'll see each other at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and then I got a meeting before that. So
yeah.
Yep. Basically right after.
So are you doing safe to say you're going to take a break from softball and cover football tonight?
I wanted to go to softball today, like during the day, but I can't. I got meeting stuff to do. But
is it Gretna and everybody else?
On softball, yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
Really?
Maybe Papillion.
I was going to say
Papia was pretty young.
I was going to say to the Monarchs, they had to start. They had to.
They kind of start over last year, so maybe. I mean, we'll see. No one has Alexis Jensen though.
Yeah,
like she's the next
stopper.
The next big thing.
She's already a big thing, and she's got like probably every option that she wants as far as college is concerned. When in October when that hits, it'll
ramp up again for her.
Mm-hmm. Like when they can finally officially publicly talk about it, might have something on that. I'm just saying. She's a big deal. No, she's kind of a big. I mean, she's a pretty big deal. She's really, really good.
Oh, no question.
Like
That's what I said, Gretna and everybody else.
I think
I saw a nice play by the Gretna center fielder yesterday on Channel 3.
Gretna East won last night, which is good for them.
That's cool. We saw Adam Kruger out at practice last week.
Mm-hmm.
He flies under the radar. He's a good dude.
He works hard.
Doesn't say much.
He works hard.
He barely does fly under the radar.
He barely spoke. He came in and he shot probably
a lot of good work though.
I bet he shot 30 minutes maybe.
Oh wow. It's a lot for
30,
TV
35.
guys.
It is.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Normally it's like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, he was there probably a good half hour. I saw him talk to Coach Limongi in the corner.
Yeah,
he was too far away, and it was awkward to yell at him. But yeah, I like him.
I would have
quite
yelled
a
at
bit.
him.
What are you expecting
tonight?
Yeah,
Prep Bellevue West game. You mean?
What?
I mean, that's like the one around. Unless you go like Norris, Blair's one. But
What game is closest? Blair, North Platte, or Bell West?
Ooh.
What game is closest?
Like score
wise?
Ooh. If Blair was fully healthy, which they're not,
and that's the whole thing for them is their depth. Their top 18, 17, 18, because they have so many two-way guys, is pretty good, but they need to be healthy.
Yeah. Missing a big target. That one's probably the closest.
Yeah.
Because of that?
Norris has a bunch of good athletes, though. They do. I saw them 7-on-7. I mean, obviously, I don't know their lines, so I didn't go to their practice or anything.
North Platte has a little left in the tank up front.
They do.
Now, they did lose Tilford, which was huge.
Yeah. How about that? They're blessed with just like two just studs back to back.
North Platte?
Yeah.
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 With Genatone
Vince and Tilford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a stud.
And they just the way they use him, they just get him the ball every which way, and they can play everywhere on defense. And
it's weird. Do you know what happened to us last year?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well aware.
Very aware.
We're well aware of this.
Is that going to happen?
Is that still haunting
That shouldn't
you, or-
happen.
Yes.
That shouldn't happen.
Because I said.
What was the final of that game? You guys lost by.
We lost by 3.
Yeah, it was like what?
They
20,
scored.
I will never.
They
forget
scored with like 6 seconds to go.
and it was
Yeah.
a low
And
scoring,
if
right?
we were losing the whole game.
Yes.
And we had an option pitch that we should have picked off, and CJ Christian couldn't quite scoop it. And the very next play was like 3rd and 9, and they completed a 16-yard pass play.
Which for them to complete a 16-yard,
the only pass play that they completed all game, and it broke our back. And then
Yeah.
they just ran it right down our cake hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you drinking over there?
This is
Some high quality H2O.
This is Bubbler.
Oh,
are you a Bubbler guy?
Is that the
I've tried it.
sparkling-
BBLR.
I've tried it.
Is
Yeah.
that the sparkling water?
It's not great.
My guy Dante Bellhauer, big bubbler guy, huge bubbler guy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's light, right?
I don't
So
like the sparkling water.
I'm team sparkling water, and I didn't have a cold Waterloo this morning, so I went with.
I've done the
Bubbler.
ice. You've
I like
turned me
ice.
onto the ice.
I might
But
do iced
I don't
coffee
go to-
next
I don't
week.
go and buy
You saw
sparkling
that.
water.
Oh, shame on you. I'll just drink club soda.
I need a little more flavor.
Team Bubbles.
I'm not gonna knock Prep though, because last time I publicly kind of sort of said, hey, they might lose or it could be a good game. It turned into me and
85 people from
me and-
Prep fighting.
Yeah, after you guys this game.
Yeah.
This guy's calling me right now.
Oh, he does. He's on his own. I'm just glad he's letting you come out to practice.
Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be good. I'm excited. Going to Millard North.
That team should
First-
be pretty good.
First time you've been there in a few years?
Ever?
Ever?
I've never been in their practice.
Yeah.
So-
Maybe it's a kinder, gentler Coach Petito. I love him.
Him and
so
I get
don't-
along. Like we
yeah.
talk. Like he's
I have a.
yeah.
It's not just a Maya thing.
You know-
Coach Petito was my guy forever.
Can I say something about this? Like, there's so many people around it and around that follow high school football and everything, and they're like, "Oh, well, he's got to go because his offense is so blah blah blah." They won a title in 15. That's less than a decade ago, right? The man's been there for however
42
long.
years.
Yeah, won how many state titles? Won how many all-state kids? How many kids did he put in Division One? And
I'm with you.
Like how many? He deserves to go out on his own time.
I don't have anything negative to say about Miller.
They also started. They knew like 2 years ago that their freshman class, they knew how good they were going to be, and then now last year
it is time for them to put it together.
Yes,
though.
they played a zillion sophomores last year. Felt like their top 4 tacklers were all are from last year, all returning this year. Their top 4 rushers are all returning this year. Up front, they're always going to be good enough. Their system's hard to prepare for.
How about next week? The one legit that I've been saying, but the 2 teams that I think are kind of coming from off the radar play each other with Papio and Millard North.
That's a tough one. You know, Millard North, I was in our coaches poll. I was a little surprised that they were that high. I thought they'd be about 7, 8, 9. But you know, they're 5th. So so the coaches that vote in that for
I
us
just
feel
can't
pretty good
really
about it.
see on paper putting them ahead of
Yeah, we talked about that. I just
and it's no disrespect because I mean, I've been high on them, obviously, but I can't see them being ahead of Millard South, North, or
Elkhorn South.
South.
Yeah. North is so big up front.
That's not my thing.
Always,
that's not my thing with
but
them.
They're
always good size.
They're always
it's
big
not their size. I think they may have a little more offensive versatility with Serco, and I don't think they have the bell cow running back.
They haven't decided on
so they may have to open it up a little with Champ and O'Neal and Titan Glass.
Hey, can I tell you that O'Neal is really good?
Who are you telling?
Like I sat up on that one. Like
listen. So a couple weeks ago, we were sitting up here with Jacob Padilla. This is NEB Preps.
Okay.
And
Connor O'Neal's good.
I bet I gave Connor O'Neal about, and it's not because of the, the
people
family,
say the family
we love
thing.
David and Todd and this, that. Nah, that's not it.
You give him 5 minutes.
Don't do that.
I'd rather be right than well liked. So if David and Todd want to be mad at me, I'll take that. But I'm going to tell you the truth about Connor O'Neal. He's really good.
He catches everything.
Dude, how about how he high points a ball, though?
That's what I mean. Like, everything.
Did you see when they were playing
7-on-7? Yes.
That catch he made.
No.
That was nice. The one that he made for the touchdown where he toe tapped in front of the pylon from about 38 yards out, not that I was counting, was unreal.
He's such a big target, too, which helps because Champ is not and Titan's not and their other guys aren't. It just adds a little.
My favorite thing about him, he just
Doesn't
keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Was never the best 6th grader, was never the best 7th grader, was never the best 8th grader, was never the best.
I don't even want to
he
get
just
into that.
keeps showing up. He could have a good water type year.
Yeah.
Right, for Bellevue West.
Yeah.
But
remember last year I said Goodwater. I'm like, hey, watch out for this guy.
He needed
wasn't
more
quite
catches,
there.
right? Like
right. He didn't quite produce statistically last year, but I remember last year in June I went and watched them and I was like, who's that guy? Because that guy's gonna be like a key piece for them.
They remind me a lot of each other.
He just didn't produce as much. Now this year I think he's got a chance to because all the focus will be on the outside. So and the running game we'll see for Bellevue West. We'll see.
Yeah.
I know again, Gwinner getting hurt certainly didn't help them last year on the first play of the game.
Is it terrible?
First play of the season. Offensive.
And listen, I just I cheer for him.
Who, Gwinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's good. He's a good player.
His dad was good to me. I quietly cheer for him. And I'm not afraid to say, I don't have any problems with Bellevue West. Obviously, my relationship with Huffman, I love Morrow. I think he's a stud. I don't have any. Now, our kids get mad, right? Wow. But that's fine. I just don't have any. There's probably only one real school in particular I couldn't care less for, but I'll cheer for anybody in the Metro. You know what I mean? I can cheer for those guys.
I'm trying to think who that is.
Now,
it's really, really easy.
I remember talking to
really easy.
I think I have a good idea.
I remember talking to Suits a week and a half ago, Kevin Suits, and I asked him about the Lincoln schools.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously only one Lincoln school in the top 10, but he couldn't give me a for sure on which Lincoln school would be the one to shine. And seeing that Lincoln Southeast is 7th.
It's Southeast or East.
Right. But seeing as Southeast is 7 and East is just receiving votes. And just a week and a half ago, somebody that, is all around those teams 24/7 couldn't decide. Is it shocking at all that they got 7 on the list?
Not really, because once you hit after that 6, it's kind of then you're in the Kearney Grandot.
I think 7. I think I feel good about 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8, 9, 10. I'm not sure.
Right. The top that front it's really top loaded, and frankly, I think I said this last week when we were at the golf course, but if Westside or Bellevue West doesn't win it, then something probably happened. That's just after seeing everyone. Now, I do think North, if they can figure out a running back, just because, they'll when it gets cold and all that stuff, you know what they're going to revert to, what they've always done, handing the ball off, and they'll be physical enough. But I think it's probably just talent-wise, and again, watching everyone at practices, I think it's probably that. Could an Elkhorn South do it? Probably.
So,
but they again don't have the one guy like Cole Ballard's not there's multiple people in position to replace him.
Gavin, maybe
it's probably Shannon. Yes, but you just have. You have more questions. You have more questions or unknowns, as I like to say.
So this
than,
is what
than knowns with like Westside. You have,
this may be too.
You also Bellevue West. You don't know because it's new defense. They're still going to run 4-man front, but
Bellevue West. Oh, you mean? Oh yeah.
Still run 4-man front.
Yeah,
but like, what's it going to look like? I know one thing. It's going to be a lot more intense and a lot more aggressive.
That's fine. I mean,
I do know that about Bellevue West defense, but Westside, and I said this last week, and I know Damon, you don't want to hear this, but
I don't care.
I think if everyone is healthy, if everyone stays healthy for the whole year, especially in the big games, that Westside has a chance to go down as an all-timer. I do. With this team. I haven't been around since, 1970 or 80 or whatever, but I think talent-wise, and you look at the schedule, they got a shot to really, and it'll be because of the scoring differential and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
sure.
When you look at the numbers, and defensively, Westside is so good, especially in the back end. And Bo Ryan is super undervalued.
Coach Limongi was
super underrated.
Giving praises to him
he
early
is,
on.
He is a really good high school football player.
So what I think, this may be too far in the weeds, but as a coach, it's just how I think. The difference, I think, in this year for whomever plays in Lincoln will be the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Because just take a look at some of the teams. You have to be able to defend against big plays.
Yep.
And if you're not, you have to be kind of multiple in coverage. And I think you have to be able to do some different things because the quarterback wide receivers at the top end are so good.
They're good.
You're not going to shut Kalen down. You're not going to shut Rezak down.
Rauner.
I think Rauner's really good. I think you have to be good. But now Elkhorn South has to be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vermont and Newberry, if somebody's getting those guys the ball, you're not just playing man.
No, you can't.
Right? Gretna's very versatile. But you have to be good on the back end.
Gretna up front is really good.
Yeah, but see,
they're not huge, but they're good.
How different would that game could potentially have gone if we could have continued to throw it, though?
Right.
It didn't appear early on in that game that they had any answers in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But Rezak hurts his thumb. And we struggled on the back end because
that all-timer
that they're passing off the game has just changed, right? There you have to be so that you make mistakes and they score. It's not like you're giving up a first down. We didn't get a couple of those switch releases and we turn a guy loose on a post. It's just
I will say this and talk about all-timers. Zane I've said it 100 times. I've said it 100 times.
Another weird guy I cheer for. I cheer for Wilcox over at Gretna.
Right.
I love the kid.
And Zane's, for my money, the best pure quarterback to ever come out of Nebraska. I know Eric Crouch won a Heisman passing the ball. We're talking. There's a difference, right? So, Gretna. They're so well coached. Coach Kale does a tremendous job, and
I like their staff.
They kill the screen game, right?
Yeah,
you know why? Because when I was at their practice, they did a whole 20-minute period on just screen.
Yeah, they
practice the crap out of it.
A lot of what we
you don't see that in high school.
A lot of what we do defensively is predicated on Gretna and Bellevue West because that's the highest of the high-end passing games.
Mm-hmm.
So our coverages now, especially now that we're experienced, we can do some more things. But
you got even your backup corners would start for a lot. Basically everybody else.
I mean, yeah.
So yeah,
we have
it's a good problem to have.
It's pretty good.
We have some versatility, but I just think listening to you guys. I think it's a more competitive year than.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's just oh man, just give Westside the trophy.
Are some of those passing concepts that Millard South does? Those are, I think 70%, we've watched it 100 times on Huddle. I think 70% of those concepts are portable in real games. It wasn't just 7-on-7.
If they can get
there's some these there's some complexity to what they do.
If they can get that feller's pretty good, the ball on swing passes and stuff like that, he could kill it this year.
If it wasn't for my guy in Scottsbluff, really good,
Sebastian Boyle.
Sebastian Boyle, feller could make the case is the best running back in the 24 class.
Yeah, he's really good. Committed to Moorhead, Minnesota State Moorhead is all right now, as of now. That could change.
He's just really good.
No, he is.
This might be one of those rare years where it's not about running the ball and stopping the run.
There isn't. Well, look, like you just brought up running back. Like who's?
Well, look at the Metro loss last year with Ballard and Sharmar Brown and Porter, and I mean,
a lot.
There were some really good. I do like who's my guy that I'm always talking about at Papio? Prestito?
Peyton Prestito, yeah. Really good. I talked to him.
He's pretty sweet, man.
It was 1 a.m. at their practice, and he was like
he missed our practice because he was at
I know. Yeah, he overslept.
I didn't oversleep. I set my alarm improperly.
I talked to him before the
That's
games,
a fair point.
before we played Papio last year, and I was like, hey, man, like, this doesn't mean a hill of beans because I'm an old head. You probably have no idea who I am, but like, you're really good. I don't have any problem saying he's pretty sweet. I like him.
It was 1 a.m. I went to him. He was like taking a rep off or whatever. The second team was in for a minute, and I just kind of walked up to him. Hey, man, I go, you know that like when people talk about running back, your name doesn't get brought up.
Why are you gassing his fire?
And then I said, hey, your goal should be, and there were some expletives obviously in there because that's
what you
do. And I said, your goal should be to be the baddest dude that there is.
How hard was that for you to say dude there?
Right. It was tough.
So
I told him, I said, your goal should be that. I said, you should also be like, nope, I'm first team, all state, everybody. Like, I'm the best.
And we show our guys, we're not afraid, man. Like, I'll show you.
I'll
show you Laquana at Millard South and you know, Ashton
good.
Murphy. And like, listen, if you guys want to be where it's at the end, there are some of these guys in the interior.
Hey, Millard South.
These guys are
Millard South up front defensively is way good.
Listen, we're using them as kind of the gold standard for, and it could come back to haunt me, but when we roll tape, because they gave us such a hard time last year, I'm like, hey man, he's back. And
they got Aiden Miller.
So
Aiden Miller you haven't seen yet.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, but well aware though.
Yeah,
right?
he's from here. Like, all that. He's way good. Like that, their defensive line is.
Yeah, I would, if I were you, like, I pay attention to what happens on the back end because I think that's going to be big.
Yeah. Speaking of Millard South, Marion Jackson is.
Yeah.
How about how
he changed his frame?
He's gonna be top. Yeah, he could be a power conference wide receiver for sure. I feel very strongly about that. I think his frame, he's long, he's maturing. He's
a good kid.
He doesn't take reps off.
I like it.
Like,
what happens tonight?
Bellevue, I think Bellevue has kind of
runs away with it.
Prep's just so young. They lost so much from last year, and Zach McClay's a really good player. Talk about back end though for Prep. He is a really good player.
Coach Fife's going to have his work cut out figuring out how to move the ball.
Yeah, I think skill's going to be
All right, Sautter, you sticking around for trivia?
Yeah, I don't have to be anywhere for a while.
All right, we'll do that next.
We will be back in 5 minutes. We will be back in 4 minutes. We will be back in 3 minutes. We will be back in 2 minutes. We will be back in 1 minute. We will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Yes, we are back, Sautter. He's
Sorry.
just yelling. Hey, are we back? Yes, Sautter, we
I
are
didn't
indeed
say that. Did I say
back.
that?
I don't know.
Out loud?
I was just relaying what I thought I heard.
I'm just having a good time
the
today.
bed music was getting loud.
I didn't get a Sautter soapbox in
Hey,
yet today.
What's the ultimate hype song? Like the number one hype song for you? I just got to ask.
For me?
Yeah, like
for me individually?
Yeah, just the ultimate hype song.
I don't think.
I mean, is it different?
It changes.
Okay.
Hell's Bells is one.
Oh, good one.
Like the dinging at the beginning. Eminem, what Bud did, that was stupid. That was amazing. Ding. Well, and then
you asked for a ding.
No, not
Hell's
that.
bells.
No, not that one.
Not
Definitely
that one either.
Definitely not my 4-year-old's trike. And then Meek Mill is another. Meek Mill.
Good one.
Why
So I
can't
got
think of Meek
asked,
Mill?
and I like in my head because I'm a huge oldies fan, so I like the Final Countdown came first to me, and then
Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill is where it goes at the beginning.
and then I thought, Forever with like every hip hop artist known to man, Drake, Kanye, Eminem. Yeah, that's a good one. Reminds me of high school.
If I need a pump up song, I need something that
like Layers,
ready to rip your face off, like run through a wall.
All right, so let's do
You don't
trivia.
like talking
You know how to
about
play.
ripping faces off?
Yeah,
I won this last week.
You're
I'm gonna
feeling
beat you.
good, but you haven't beaten the man.
I beat him once.
One time,
You
really?
or what?
You beat
a little bit of, like it was like a month ago.
So he wants it back then.
I'm coming.
All right, title fight.
We
Shane,
coming.
music, please.
We coming with the Louis.
Hey, Mike Sautter.
I'm intense right now. Let's go.
Which Major League Baseball team has won over 80% of their games in the month of August over the last 4 seasons?
I think I just know this, but go ahead.
Do you want to take a guess before?
Yeah,
you
no.
answer?
I just go ahead. I think it's the Dodgers, but go ahead.
Braves, Astros,
Oh.
or Dodgers?
Wow, those are tough. Ouch. Ooh, Braves.
Like
five seasons?
Over the last 4 seasons.
4.
80% of their games in the month of August.
Ooh, that's tough. I want to say Dodgers because they're just on a roll right now. That was my initial thought, but yeah, let's go. Gosh, well, Damon's a Dodgers fan, so he would know this. Let's go Astros.
All righty. Question number 2. The 2023 Little League Baseball World Series began this week. Who was the first female participant to win a game as a pitcher in 2014?
Chicago, right?
Do you want to take a guess? You want the
No,
answers?
I want the answers. But it's Chicago, right? I'm right. Like
Is
she's
it
from Chicago.
Monet Davis,
That's it.
Emma March, or Brielle
Monet
Mino?
Davis.
Presidential ceremonial pitches have become a tradition in Major League Baseball since opening day of the 1910 season. Who was the first president
Are
to
you
throw out a pitch?
fucking serious?
I am. Is it William Howard Taft, FDR, or Grover Cleveland?
1910 president?
Mm-hmm.
It's not FDR was later than that. Who'd you say? What are the other 2 options?
Taft in Cleveland.
Let's go Taft. I'm guess. Total guess.
All right, and the tiebreaker question
I don't
here,
feel good about
Michael
this.
Jerome. Regarding the last question, what numbered president was he?
Seriously?
It's closest to. That's a tiebreaker.
1910, 18. I'm gonna go 10.
Thank you.
No, let's go 7.
All
right.
Thank you, Mike Sautter.
I don't feel good about
While
this.
we wait for DB to come back, I want to take a moment and tell you about the Omaha Storm Chasers. They are on the road, but we'll be back next week. They take on St. Paul, so make sure to get your tickets for those games. I just got something in my fields, AAA, at least for the Cardinals. Mason Wynn got called up, so that'll be great. We'll get to watch
Yay, Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Michael Sautter.
Woo.
It's all right.
Hey, what's up, man?
Can't all go 15 out of 16 and 11.
Questions are hard today.
All right.
I don't feel good.
Ready to go?
Sure.
Trick question, the first one, actually.
Hey, DB, which Major League Baseball team has won over 80% of their games in the month of August over the last 4 seasons?
Well, who always? Okay, so it's one of 4, right? It's either the Yankees, the Astros, the Braves, or the Dodgers. The last how many years?
4.
4 years. 80% of their games in the month of August.
I'll take the Braves.
See, that was going to be mine.
I'll take the Braves. That's.
We might be split. This
I
might be
don't know.
the. This
I
might
don't
be
feel
the.
good, but they've made some late runs, and I know 3 years ago
Last
they were
year
really
were-
bad at the break.
Yeah.
And I'll take the Braves.
Okay.
I'll take the Braves.
You can't change your answers.
I know. I was kind of.
Hey, DB, the 2023 Little League Baseball World Series began this week.
Yep.
Who was the first female participant to win a game as a pitcher in 2014?
Female?
Female.
Monet Davis.
Don't throw your hands
I'm
up
just
and
saying,
go
that one was-
easy,
that
this,
one was
that.
probably-
You couldn't
that
even
one
come up with the name. You needed the choices to get to the name.
I was the right team, though.
All right.
initially.
Last question, DB. Presidential ceremonial pitches have been a tradition in Major League Baseball since opening day of the 1910 season.
Yes, indeed.
Who was the first president to throw a ceremonial first pitch? And you have your lifeline, so if you need it here, we can use it.
1910.
1910.
I'm not as old as Damon, so I didn't. I was.
When
guessing.
is George Washington's in the 1700s, right?
Yes.
That would be correct.
Way off.
Okay, hang on. 1910.
1910.
So I know who the president was during World War I. Who was? So that would be 14 through 18. Who was before?
So right now you're gambling without the lifeline. You want to keep pursuing this?
Yeah, I'll take the lifeline.
Okay.
I think it's Taft, but I didn't want the lifeline.
Is it William Howard Taft, FDR, or Grover Cleveland?
It's Taft, 1910.
It's not FDR.
And the tiebreaker question, DB. Regarding the last question, what numbered president was he?
Oh. I'm so off on this one. I'm so far away.
So 1910-ish.
1910.
Yeah, this I need to change.
Washington was in the
I changed my answer.
1700s.
I'm so far away.
So let's divide
I
it
don't
by.
know what I was thinking.
Let's divide it by 4. Sans the repeats, right? Because at one point you couldn't have. You had to stop. So he was probably.
Quick math.
20. He's probably 24th. No, 25th. He's
25th?
I was thinking
25th president?
24.
Somewhere I can't. There's a couple of repeats in there. And one guy, who was the guy that was only 2 years? He was probably the 25th.
Okay. We can go back and look
I'm
at
out.
it here in a hot
I'm
sec.
out.
Well, there's a couple
I
guys
lost.
that were
I'm
short,
not happy about it.
Yeah, but does that count?
but they might have been
What
back
was I
farther too.
doing?
I don't know, man.
I'm so mad at myself.
So it's just the number, not
Right,
like
just the number.
term.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so mad
I'll
at
go-
myself right now.
That's safe.
He's
25th.
the 25th president of the United States.
I
That's
just
what you were
worked
going for.
backwards from 44, which was Trump.
Don't worry.
Or
you're
45.
You're all right.
Right.
You got it.
Correct.
You're all right.
All right, let's go through
You
the
beat
answers.
me on the tiebreaker.
223.
If a tiebreaker needs to happen,
2023, 1910. So it's rough.
if a
to say that.
tiebreaker needs to happen, I didn't think hard enough. How about that?
Let's go through the
Just
answers
work
here.
backwards, man.
You know what? Let's work backwards through the answers, but we'll leave the tiebreaker.
Shane, you almost needed it.
All right, presidential ceremonial pitches have been a tradition in Major League Baseball since opening day of the 1910 season. Who was the first president to throw a pitch? It was Taft. You both got it correct. In 2014, who was the first female participant to win a game as a pitcher? You both said Monet Davis. You both are correct. And which
This is
Major
the
League
one.
Baseball team has won over 80% of their games in the month of August
This
over the
is the
last
one.
4 seasons? DB said the Braves.
I said the
You
Astros.
said the Astros. The answer is the Dodgers.
Dang it!
I didn't
You
pick my
trick
own.
You didn't pick
questioned
your
me.
own team.
You
and
tricked
this
me on
guy
that one.
Said
You tricked
I would
me.
say Dodgers, but let me hear the answers, and then he changed his answer.
You tricked me because it was Damon's favorite team. I was like, oh, you know that one.
All right, what numbered president was Taft?
I'm
He was
embarrassed.
27. He said
7. I don't
Let's
know
go.
what I was doing.
Matt Vrzal up next.
The show will be back in 4 minutes. The show will be back in 3 minutes. The show will be back in 2 minutes. The show will be back in 1 minute. The show will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio. Now let's find out what Matt Vrzal is better at, telling stories or making pizza.
Matt.
Matt's an exceptional young man.
Matt Vrzal.
Happy birthday, Matt.
You know, Matt, he's a tremendous athlete.
Matt Vrzal.
Come on, Matt, I'm with you.
You know, like Matt Vrzal, you're one of the sexiest people in the world, but you're not one of the most beautiful. How did that happen?
Here is Matt Vrzal.
All right, Matt, thank you very much.
All right, it's that time. We welcome in Matt Vrzal, former Husker and Pison's Pizzeria owner at Verz51 on Twitter. He joins the show with DB and Mike Sautter again for the second week in a row. Matt, good morning.
What up, boys?
How we doing, Matty?
Angry, Matt.
Above the dirt.
I heard that was last week. Hey, whatever happened last week, man, all three co-hosts said something. What was going on last week, Matty?
I'll plead the fifth.
I try to tell people, right, for as much as everybody loves you, which is well earned, you will have some moments, man, where it's like, I don't think this dude likes me.
I don't know.
Like, it just happens that way. Right?
I don't know what happened.
It's just like, have a certain level of expectation for people.
Here we go.
And when I'm let down by that expectation, then I'm just like, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Passive aggressive.
Shaggy.
So there are times like he gets mad at me, and I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like,
Because I hold you in high standards.
Do you just want to tell me, like, sometimes, hey, man, be better?
No. Sometimes I would like to slap the face out of you.
Wow.
You can't use my line against me.
Because I know you know what you just asked me or did is very, very silly. And I'm just like, hey, bro, we're almost, you're probably 50. I have 11 months to 50.
You'll beat me by, nope, I'll beat you by a couple of months.
You're old.
Yeah.
Do you guys need to have lunch together or something?
No, it's just par for the course. Hey, so
we always have lunch together.
Hey, Michael, don't kid yourself. You two are in the camp too.
Oh, wow. What did I do to you?
Hey,
he threw a football at my head on Saturday, by the way.
Dude, he actually can throw it like a he
almost smoked me in the head.
Verz, were
you
you
looking, number one, Mike Sautter, you thought you were gonna get slick when I was at a baseball game last Saturday.
No, that's not true. I was genuinely saying, hey, tell your sister I said hello. And you took it as
what was the gift you used?
it was. I don't know. I was just trying to be funny.
What's up? What's got a meaning?
I don't remember. I feel like the next time I see her, I got to run again. What? Gosh,
she's done. She didn't play.
No, I know. She
Maddie,
was angry at me before.
Maddie, how good do you feel? I know a couple weeks ago you told me you like a couple of your guys up front. You do get a senior quarterback back and some experience. I know you guys weren't happy about last year. Do you use that at all, or is that a little too hokey?
Bud, you kind of know how I do it. It's how I did it at Northwest. I really don't get into a lot of that because last year's team is gone. My guys are my guys. We take care of number one and don't step in number two. So if senior quarterback is doing a great job, got some nice running back, but if we're not tight and right up front, it really is. It doesn't matter who's out there.
Real quick, is that weird how that's kind of been a thing for such a physical football team like Scott over the last couple of years? It sounds weird to hear you say that, right? But it is what it is.
But that's the way it's always been. It's if your lines aren't right, if your O line and D line aren't right, now you get offensive coordinator into a spot where he feels he's got to be overly creative. Yeah, and then just I mean, establish your identity. Find the 3 to 5 or the 3 to 4 plays you're really, really good at. Let your dudes up front go eat, and the rest of the guys get the accolade, and that's why football is a great game.
Can we
find people that are 100% selfless, don't need accolade, don't need their name in the paper, then you got a team, right?
Yeah.
Like you look at it, I mean, just take our class. Beggs has done an excellent job the past few years up front. How many of them kids can you name?
Good point. Good point.
They had dudes. Like they had dudes. And you know nobody hears their name. But you'll hear about the little fast kids and the quarterback who I love and the receivers. But you don't hear about the ones that won it. So we don't care. It's great that we got a senior quarterback. It's great that we got some good running backs. We just got to go out and do our thing.
Well, you got
that.
Sounds a lot like Sauter's team, Sala, where he says, doesn't matter about you skill guys. The big guys got to get it going.
That's right.
I mean, and that's football, man. I mean, it's neat. You can go 6 wide and chuck it around the yard.
6 wide.
It don't matter.
Just as long as they have low number jerseys on, right?
Yeah, right.
The lineman. Hey, Polar Bear is a 0 now.
Roger.
What's up? Just gonna double check.
They gave an honorary one, buddy.
I know they did.
Honorary single digit.
They did get an honorary one, plus a defensive lineman's wearing one now.
There you go. Yeah, those guys can do it, but the men on the field cannot.
It would be interesting.
Did you say the men on the field?
Yeah.
Spoken like a true old lineman. It is like, because I'm kind of looking at who's wearing those numbers, and we didn't get into it a ton today, but if Nash is embodying the traits that get you that number, that's got to be a good sign for the direction of your team, because you want your consistent guys to be as close to the ball as possible.
Yep. And you want guys like that. It seems to have taken. You know, the kids, just judging by the smile on the face, they're ready to go. So if they've taken to this new trend that's building that the coaches want to instill, then that's a good positive step in the right direction.
If players are voting on these numbers and, you know, they're kind of wearing it like a badge of honor, you got Nash and Kemp and Gifford and Henrich and Reimer and Bullock and Sims. Is that closer to being player-led than not, or is that just kind of a byproduct?
Are you trying to make me mad?
I just
now I want to know what you're going to say.
I'm just asking, man. What would I do?
But you know the answer to that question. The answer was in the question.
Well, I don't. Just because players vote, you know, there can still be a hint of popularity. I ain't trying to make you mad. It's a legit question.
That's everything.
Well, then answer the question.
Wow.
I did. I said players led. I'm just looking at the flight plan for Westside when they fly on IMG. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Here we go.
Hey, head out to California next, and then you go to Colorado, play Cherry Creek. Sorry.
Wow.
There's stuff going on.
Here he goes.
Are you going anywhere tonight? Maybe to see Blair, or you don't really care? You're working, right?
To work, yeah.
I'm going to work.
Hey, Verz, we talked about this earlier, and it was in regards to what we saw over in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
And I kind of wanted to get your take on this. With Dion saying he wasn't happy that some guys didn't step up and join the little brawl that took place at practice. And the question I presented was he encouraging culture or confrontation? And the side I leaned on was culture, and to get involved. Even if you don't want to fight, you got to be there and, you know, be a brother in that moment. What do you think?
He's encouraging teams. If I'm out there playing a game with you where all 11 of us have to be on the same page to succeed, and I'm getting into it, and you can't come help me, there's a certain person that kind of got into a deal, and I had somebody call me and said, hey, you know, blah, 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 can you get over there? I'm like, are you sure they're there? I'm like, yeah. So I hop in the truck, start heading over there. And this wasn't in Lincoln. This is at 46 years old in Omaha. Because that's still how we live. Right? That ain't a joke. That's how we live to this day. Because those guys that you go through it with, they got to know you're there, and you're there all the time. If it's one thing, I didn't have a famous playing career. But any and everybody that's been around me knows it's a phone call, and I'll be there. Somehow, I will be there. It might not be me in person. I might send somebody to represent me, but somebody from me will be there.
2 said at 46.
But that's life.
Hey, so
45.
Hey, whoa.
You better hurry up. Shane's about to cut you off and play that back.
Yeah, you're getting close.
No, I real quick, what's your gut tell you about, like, as a guy like, and I'm not trying to bring up a fight over single digits, but could a guy like Ethan Piper, do you think, be voted a single digit guy and maybe not take it? Or is that a good sign when you watch the trajectory of his career? Because I feel like you and I have talked about him the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I think that's what's happened. Doesn't he have an honorary one? So, you know, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he gets to wear it to practice. And then you got to go to the 50 in the game or whatever his number is, 57. So it's cool. It's always good to be acknowledged by your peers. It always is.
So you're not surprised if he cracked the starting lineup?
No.
Okay.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's one way to look at it, Matty.
Verz, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much. Enjoy the weekend.
Hey, boys.
Appreciate it.
And to all of you out there, we're can you catch Mike Sautter tonight? That is at Bell West Creighton Prep. I'll be there as well. DB, you'll be there too in the stands doing your other job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be taking notes.
Hey, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Who says that?
Robert Sala.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Good call.
Did you just look that up?
No, he said it in the presser.
That's right here in the front.
We'll see you next week.